something like 10 o'clock on its current pace at what it's moving right now. All right, let's go up here to Lawrence. I want to look at this because that's where we were just peeking from just a moment ago, where we were showing what the storm looked like and where these winds are popping off. Let's see what kind of estimates we're getting over here by Topeka. They're really going to be picking up. So you can see right there, just south of Holton, this is where we just had a 67-mile-an-hour wind gust not too long ago. That cell's right there. That's the one that's moving toward Atchison. So 70-mile-per-hour winds possible toward Atchison. And then this is the one that's going to be moving potentially toward Lawrence. Now, I'm looking pretty far up into the storm. Our radar is looking far out. Let's see here. I don't want shear. I'll have to fix this. Let's see if I can read it off air. No, but anyway, 70-mile-per-hour winds are possible in this bright. I was going to show you exactly what the computer was putting out. The radar is estimating winds up there, but it's 4 70-mile-per-hour winds, and where your brightest colors are is where it's going to be. So around Meriden, north of Topeka, and then sliding toward Lawrence. Also could have some small hail with that as well. All right, and I do want to emphasize the flood threat that we have for tonight. So we've got these storms that are sliding into this zone, and there may actually be, so some spots in here got hit hard with rain last night and early this morning, because we had that early cluster. 3.5, 4 inches of rain in some spots. Now you've got this one coming in, and there may actually be another one that develops later on tonight. These two kind of sandwich right on top. That's possible. So we've got that flood watch. Small pockets of 4 inches, and then extreme pockets, very small areas, localized, it could get up to a half a foot of rain. So we're watching all of this too. Flash flooding is a concern. Of course, Kansas City, anytime we get heavy rain and slow-moving storms, flooding is a concern in Kansas City. So we'll be watching for that. It just, with an urban environment and all the concrete and everything, our drainage just isn't as good. And sometimes we get the flooding that's from even lesser events in Kansas City in the metro. All right, I'll take that Lawrence cam back. If you would like, John, if you could pop that up in a split screen. Yeah, that's an approaching shelf cloud. So, Lawrence, what you're going to get, if we pan just a little bit more because of the split, we can't see the, there we go. There we go. Look at that, right there. So you've got an approaching shelf cloud, not a wall cloud. This is not rotating, but this is going to have some nasty winds with it potentially. Up to 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts are possible in that cell that's near Topeka right now, so it's going to be there in just a bit. Let's time it out. Lawrence, let's take a closer look for you. See when you could expect that. All right, so what I'm going to do is look at this cell individually. Just got a new warning update. Quarter-size hail, 70-mile-per-hour winds. We've already got reports of damage. A 6-inch diameter tree. 6-inch diameter tree limbs were reported down near Silver Lake, moving southeast at 65. So this is going way, way faster, this little segment right here, than the surrounding line, according to what the National Weather Service is putting out with that. So it's kind of odd to track, but I'll go with what the warning says. All right, here we go. Lawrence, this will be worst case scenario. It could be there in 20 minutes, according to the speed that the National Weather Service puts with that. I think you've got more time than that. That surge shouldn't last that long, but you need to be ready by 7:49, 7:45 we'll call it, for this leading edge of powerful winds to be coming in. It's right now kind of by Topeka. It's actually just west of Topeka. So moving into Lecompton, we'll have Lecompton at 7:40, Eudora at 7:56, and again, Lawrence sometime around 7:50. And that's what you're going to see approach, is what we call shelf cloud. And right out ahead of that, you're going to get that real punch of wind. It's going to be rain cooled. It's going to have a bit of a chill. And then you get slammed with the heavy rain, and then more powerful winds will come with that rain too, and possibly some hail. So we'll be watching that one. Here we go, new severe thunderstorm warning now for the Kansas City metro. It is a considerable warning. This is probably where we're going to kick over to on air. John, I would imagine we would want to go on air for this somewhat soon anyway. Give people as much. We got a lot of people that are out. Fan Fest was canceled. People had to go home. Chain smokers were canceled because of this threat, this very threat right here. All right, so now we have a severe thunderstorm warning, considerable, until 8:30, and the counties are Atchison County, Kansas, so that's that storm that we were talking about moments ago, the one that's north of Lawrence. Buchanan, Doniphan, and Platte counties. This goes until 8:30, and it's going to be entering the northwest side of KC first, and that's moving southeast at 30. So you can see the difference in the speed of these things. Some of them are cranking at 65. Other ones are going 30. Generally, I'm going to bet on 30. I'm going to say, so 70-mile-per-hour winds are the threat with this cell coming in. So by 8:30, an hour from now, so the very end of that warning, if it were to maintain its strength and maintain its speed, would be on the northwest side. Right there would be the end of the hour-long warning. It'd be right over here within the 435 loop past the airport and into KCK. That would be Bonner Springs. That would be Edwardsville. That would be the Northland potentially up there. So by 8:30 in KC in the metro. Let me go to the Weather Service chat and see what they've got with this. We just had in Atchison County, that cell, which is this one right here, a spotter just had a 72-mile-per-hour wind gust. We had a 60-mile-per-hour wind gust in Lancaster. So it looked like, let me see exactly where the 72 was. Oh, both of them were out of Lancaster. We're getting lots of wind reports coming in out of Atchison County with that cell. Okay, so just starting back over here, we're going to get our bearings and show you what is coming our way. Line of severe storms. The primary thing here, 70-mile-per-hour winds, straight line winds. Every one of these yellow boxes that you see with the white around them, the reason for that is 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts in pockets, although sometimes it's kind of widespread like what's coming through Atchison County. And then down in Topeka and beyond, that whole thing is a nasty line of storms that have come kind of like merged into a big wind bag of a cluster, and it's moving toward KC. And portions of the metro are now under a considerable severe thunderstorm warning due to the threat of 70-mile-per-hour winds. We are also under a tornado watch, and what we'll be watching for are spin-up tornadoes along this line, something we have seen so many times. I think we're up to 28 confirmed tornadoes so far this season. It's just been a record season. This is our third level 3 out of 5 risk this week. Sometimes you have an entire season and you only get 3 level 3 out of 5 risks, and we've had 3 of them in a week. So here it comes. Between 8 and, this is probably going to be closer to 8:30, moving into the northwest side of the KC Metro. Corey, you've got the velocities over there, so the wind speeds. What we're tracking here is like, where's the worst of it? Let's go over to Corey. I'm going to look at some Facebook reports and see what some of our viewers are asking, and YouTube if we're up on that. But let's pinpoint where the worst of this is right now.
All right, thank you, Luke. Yes, this seems to be a big wind maker. Here we are, Kansas City. We're looking off to the west where we're seeing some impressive winds. Again, a little far from the radar, so they're lofted, but they can be brought back down at the surface. Near Hoyt, just north of I-70, I'm going to zoom here into our neck of the woods. I switched over the radar. So these are pretty high-level winds, just eyeballing it. And last time I saw, I think it was up to 70-mile-per-hour winds. Really, really impressive stuff. Before it was showing that here. Let's see. All right, here we go now. We might be a little far, but I think we should be able to get some. Okay, well, before it was showing 78-mile-per-hour winds, Luke. Right, I don't know, performance anxiety, I guess, from our radar system here, but it was showing 78-mile-per-hour winds, near 80-mile-per-hour winds. Again, that can be mixed down to the surface, and that's why we have that considerable tag severe thunderstorm warning just out ahead of Kansas City, looking to enter the metro here pretty quickly.
Thanks, Corey. Yeah, whenever you just look at the wind, stand back and look at the bright pockets, all these bright spots back here, that's where the 70-mile-per-hour winds could be. So we just want you to be ready for it. Not everybody within there is going to get it, but the concern is that in spots, that's what's coming. I'm getting questions, too, about, number one, what is the big triangle, the big zone? That's your severe thunderstorm warning, okay? Everybody that's in there has the potential to see these winds that we're talking about. One question was up here about St. Joe, and I think this is a good question. Missing St. Joe. Yes, yes. Some of you are getting lucky where you're following in this weakness that is just on the north side of this line. Now, that is a line of thunderstorms, and it's producing some really heavy rain, but it's not nearly as stout. So if you're in this batch from, let's say, St. Joe to Cameron to Bethany, we do have that. That's a flash flood warning up there by Maryville, but your conditions are going to get better. So that's good news there. King City, all of this up here, concern is much, much lower right now. And probably for the evening, because the focal point is going to be this line. This is where the atmosphere is more juiced up for a couple reasons. We didn't get nearly as much rain this morning, so we have an atmosphere that's got more thunderstorm fuel. And things are rocking here. You can see they're struggling up north. This is kind of a self-feeding mechanism. Once they get going, they tap into the winds way up in the jet stream and they pull them down to the ground, they surge, and that's how you get these extreme straight line winds. Okay, so new severe thunderstorm warning. This one just came out. Now we've got Douglas County, portions of Franklin County that are under this new warning. It's the same thing that we've been seeing, considerable severe thunderstorm warning. This goes till 8:30. Northwestern Franklin County, we've got Douglas County included in that. So we're looking at Ottawa and Lawrence. We did have our Lawrence cam. We'll be checking back in on that here pretty soon. And the threat is 70-mile-per-hour winds again with this one. And this one, it says it's moving southeast at 55. So our estimate last time with that 60-mile-per-hour, I was saying parts of the storm are surging faster in this line, might actually end up playing out because Lawrence is getting kind of close to you guys now. We were estimating at 749 for you. Hey, John, I'll take that split screen again if you've got it with Lawrence. The view from Lawrence right now, I mean, it just looks wild. We've got this approaching shelf cloud that's coming in. And this is a telltale sign of a fierce storm. Oh, there it is. Yes, textbook shelf cloud coming in. So what you've got is the warm air that's out ahead of it is getting picked up and brought into the storm here, and it's pushing cold, rain-cooled air out in front of it. So you get this interaction like that, and it causes this big, what oftentimes people say is a wall cloud. It's not a wall cloud. A wall cloud rotates. A wall cloud's associated with tornadoes. This is not associated with tornadoes. It's associated with fierce straight line winds and really heavy rain. So good news, bad news, you know. Good news is it's not tornadic. Bad news is it's going to be bringing some hefty winds with it. Let's go to our velocity here and check in on what we see with that. Wow, these are rocking. So around there's Meriden, there's Valley Falls, here's Tonganoxie, here's Lawrence, and these right here, the bright spots, are the 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts. There's one that's up here by Atchison or just west of Atchison as well. We've had 60-plus mile-per-hour wind gusts there, and they're fairly thick back behind the initial punch too, so it may last for more than just a real quick punch. It might last for 15, 20 minutes or so. You could be into some rather stout winds. Corey, I'll take it over to you. The National Weather Service should start getting some reports coming in from spotters. It's daylight. It's a day that we have anticipated would be rather intense, and there's a lot of spotters out. So are you seeing anything come through on the Weather Service chat?
Yes, I am. More wind gust reports and also damage reports. As you can see, where that line of storms is out to the west, including areas near Horton, near Holton, near Atchison, near Meriden, and Oskaloosa as well, and just north of Topeka. So here's how many reports we have so far, kind of from that batch that's headed towards the KC Metro. Thunderstorm wind damage 3, thunderstorm wind gust. Let's talk about some of those thunderstorm wind damage reports. Here's one that's just north of Topeka, 6-inch limb down across the highway near Silver Lake, Highway 24. That's thunderstorm wind damage. We go a little bit to the north near Atchison. Down trees near 286th Road and Graham Road. And we're also looking at this other damage report here of a downed tree limbs east of Arrington. So, right, we're not just seeing strong winds, but we're also unfortunately seeing damage produced from these storms. And yeah, that's what's headed towards the KC Metro very soon.
Corey, I'm getting 74 mile per hour wind gusts right here.
Okay.
And this is just
radar?
Yeah, radar indicates. So this is not a report, but we had a 72. 74 mile per hour wind gust is a hurricane force gust. All right, you got hurricane force winds that are in spots coming through portions of Atchison County and Jefferson County and aimed toward northern Douglas County. Let me get rid of that. Let me get rid of this estimate here and just show you these winds, and you can get an idea of how they're tracking. So that's Tonganoxie, I think, actually. This would be moving toward Tonganoxie next. So we do have this severe thunderstorm warning here, this considerable severe thunderstorm warning. Let's get over here to Tonganoxie and look at you guys. So much for the split today. That's coming for you guys. Here's your warning. This severe thunderstorm warning goes until 8:30, and it does include the northwestern portion of the KC Metro. There you go. 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts coming along this line. We've had them in Atchison County, Kansas. It was actually in, I think it was Lancaster that we had the 72-mile-per-hour winds. Looks like we got a new warning to our south. We'll get there in a moment. I do want to time this out, though. So let's track this one. And John, are we on KCTV? Okay, we might want to get on KCTV here. Okay, I'll call for that here in a moment. Let's see how fast this thing's moving. All right, this one's going 30. They're just all over the place. So this line's coming in at 30. Let's get you some times. Looking at Tonganoxie, it's knocking on your doorstep, and then Bonner Springs and Weatherby Lake. Okay, Lewis and Clark Village, 743. 743 is right now, so it is right now. Leavenworth, 802. So we've got, what, 20 minutes, something like that for Leavenworth. Lansing at 807, and then Bonner Springs at 820. So here's Bonner Springs right here. See if I can move the map for you because of the lower third. There we go. I'll redraw it for you. But Bonner Springs, it was looking like it was coming in just after 8 on its current time. All right, there's Bonner Springs. It says, 823. DeSoto, 827, and still, KCK is what it's got at 849. So this is the one that's heading toward the Kansas City Metro. Tonganoxie, it's there in probably about 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes. So this could be some damaging winds that's moving in your way. And then Lawrence, you as well, we got to be on guard for you with this segment right here that's coming in. It's coming in pretty fast. I'm going to guess within the next 10 to 15 minutes. Again, they're surging like crazy, so it's really hard to time them out, but I'll do my best here with the latest warning from the Weather Service on this one. And they've got it moving at 60. This one's been moving faster. The one to the north is 30. This one's moving twice as fast. Oh, here, I got to redo that. Change the speed. And we'll go 60 miles an hour with this, and then we'll get back to Corey here in just a moment. I want to see, we got to keep our eye on reports. We should start getting lots of reports coming in with this stuff. He's already had a number of them. And then we'll...
South.
The one to the south?
Yeah.
We'll check on that here in a minute.
Okay.
Let's time this out. All right, so Lecompton, 746. Lawrence, 755. So you got 10 minutes in Lawrence. If this is going that fast, which I believe it is, then you've got about 10 minutes in Lawrence before this comes in. So, we've got World Cup, fans and a team there. So this is going to be a big storm coming in, a big Midwest American storm coming in. A lot of lightning and a lot of thunder, a lot of heavy rain and some big winds with it too. So you'll be safe. This is just a storm where you get away from the windows. It can cause tree damage, and you just want to be in a safe structure. If you're in a decent structure, you're going to be okay. That's the thing. Eudora about 8 o'clock, and DeSoto at about 8:07 for that one. And then down here in northern portions of Franklin County, you're in that as well. You got a little bit more time down here. So that's the latest. All right, Corey, let's get over to you. Let's see what you spot on your end and the reports again. And then also the weather tracker. If we got the First Warn weather tracker, we'll take them after Corey's update.
All right, thank you, Luke. So we can look at the Topeka radar.
Okay.
We're getting good data now coming in, and I'm choosing the Topeka radar here, Luke, just because it's closer, so we're getting a more accurate ground estimate of the wind. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to stop it, and we're going to check in on this area right here. Oskaloosa, real close to there. Lecompton as well. Again, straight line winds is definitely the main headlining hazard here that we're watching out for. 56-mile-per-hour winds. I'm going to zoom in a little bit more before I send it back to you here, Luke, just so I can get more in depth at the strongest and looking pixels here, because I think we're going to get a higher 56. Okay. So, all right, 56. It looks like that's the top one here that we're seeing near the surface. And then I'm going to go back to our Kansas City one, and this is going to be a little bit more high level, but again, these can be mixed down to the surface here near Oskaloosa, close to Lawrence. It's still showing, unfortunately, here, 0 miles per hour. I'll troubleshoot that for you, Luke, but just kind of eyeballing here, I still think we're in that 70-mile-per-hour range for those higher level winds that could get mixed down near Oskaloosa.
Okay, let's restart here. We're at about 7:47. And just to get our bearings again, a series of severe thunderstorms. It's all kind of like in one line that breaks up by about St. Joe, and it's surging southeast, and various parts of the line are going faster than others, and we're trying to track down for your area when you can expect it. Now, part of this is including the Kansas City metro. All right, so that goes until 8:30 with this warning. And 70-mile-per-hour winds, the primary thing. We're watching for spin. We don't see a lot of spin right now, but there's potential that we have brief spin-up tornadoes, something that we've had a lot this season. And then it continues down. There's a new warning that looks like that we just got, or that's continuance. Yeah, it's not extended. It's a continuance. That's down for like Lawrence and Ottawa. That would be in Douglas and Franklin counties. And I think that one also goes till 8:30. I think both of these go till 8. Yeah, it goes till 8:30. So there's our deal. North of that, you're doing better, and I know arrival time. Everybody wants to know, when's it coming to my area? Well, because this line is surging in different speeds in different parts, I'll walk you down the line, and we'll give you a best estimate in your area. All right, so this is the part that's going a little slower up here, but this is the one that's aimed toward the KC Metro. Atchison coming up on Leavenworth and moving southeast at about 30. So we'll put it here. Leavenworth, you got about 10 minutes. And then, I don't want to make it sound like everybody in this yellow box is going to get slammed with high winds. But there are the focused, it's a jet stream level wind that's coming in focused parts. And that's where you could get blasted with those especially high winds. Everybody's going to get a thunderstorm in this, but parts of it are going to be more intense than others. Lansing at about 8:05. Bonner Springs, 8:20. KCK, now it says 8:39. That's 10 minutes earlier than the last time. So I'm thinking like 8:30, hey, KC. And within the 435 loop, we'd have to be getting ready for it. And of course, it's going to take longer to travel to the southeast. So it looks like 8:30 to 10, 8:30 to 9:30 is a good estimate for the general 435 loop area. Sooner northwest, a little later southeast. If you're wondering, like Lee Summit, you're going to be closer to that 9:30, 10 o'clock time frame. And that's on the current track, which this may speed up or slow down. So we don't want to go too far past an hour and give you numbers. All right, now this section here is going faster, twice as fast, actually, at about 60. And this focused targeted area right here, this is the one that's moving toward Lawrence. And Olathe, we're going to watch you guys for this one, too. All right, so that's going to be 7:50 in Lecompton. Lawrence at 7:57. It says about 7 minutes there. While we're on Lawrence, can we do the split screen again and watch this cloud, this shelf cloud that's coming in? So there we go. Thank you so much, John. We're watching this feature come in. So that's the vantage point. If you are in Lawrence right now, this is what it looks like on radar. That's where the storm is. Let me get rid of our times here. Eudora 8:05 and DeSoto 8:10. So if I didn't say your city, there it is. There's Lawrence right here. And that's what it looks like on radar. And that's what it looks like if you were to be there. And
Cool.
Go ahead, Corey.
Oh, sorry, and close to there, I just want to say, at the EOC in Oskaloosa, they're on generator power. They lost power.
Oh, okay. Knocking
North
out.
of Lawrence.
You would expect that. You're going to have to, if you get a 60 to 70 mile per hour wind burst, you're going to lose power in spots. It's going to arc power lines. You're going to have branches break, and it's just going to be a headache in spots. And it can be dangerous if you're out in it. They canceled FIFA the fest today, the Fan Fest. Sorry. Because of this coming in. Imagine having 25,000 people and trying to find shelter for them whenever you've got something blowing in like this. It'd just be a mess. So this is the reason why. So this warning looks like it just continued. To our north is why it flashed, so it doesn't look like anything new. Is there anything new with it, Corey?
Still going 30.
Okay.
30
30
east.
and goes till 8:30?
Yeah. Let's see. Yep. That
Okay.
should be through 8:30.
Thank you, sir. And then here is the other section of storm. And this one, they had a report of a 60 to 70 mile per hour wind gust from a fire chief that was west of Perry. I don't exactly know where Perry is, but Perry, Kansas. And it's moving 55. So this part of the line's moving rather quickly as well. Point is, it's not just us seeing it on radar. We're getting a lot of reports out of this line that it's actually doing what it appears to be doing, which is cranking out some really big straight line winds, which has been the #1 concern for today. Let me update my speed for you so we get you accurate numbers. And we'll try to get it to you, Ottawa. When can you expect it? There we go, we got you. All right, Auburn, you're at 754. There's Ridgeway at 804. Osage City, this is Osage City right here, 814. Baldwin City, that would be 825. There's Ottawa, about 830 in Ottawa. So this whole line's kind of bending back and moving southeast, and Ottawa would be about 830. We're going to be somewhere about 830 on the northwest side of the KC Metro as well. Okay, let me get to some Facebook questions I want to see, and YouTube as well. In fact, I'll hit YouTube first. Let's see here, if anything. The overall tornado threat for Kansas City is a question that keeps coming up. It's there, but it's not as high as it was earlier today. Earlier today, John, if we could go full screen with this Lawrence cam, I'll take that, because this is a striking view, and there's going to be people that have never seen something like this before. Okay, so what you have here is, again, a shelf cloud. And this is not a rotating wall cloud. This is not tornadic. Some of you might see this, and I would understand why you would be thinking, uh-oh, here comes a tornado, because you see that lowering on the cloud. But that is not a tornadic cloud structure. That is what we call a shelf cloud. And whenever you see this, well, you can see where the rain is right here from our vantage point, from our camera. And that rain is coming down. Right out ahead of that rain, you see how the cloud is out ahead of the rain, this part right here? And then the rain's way back here. So this is that rain-cooled air that's being pushed out and then brought back up into the storm that's creating this kind of odd look. So you've got warm air that's going out and first, then this is coming out, and it's this is all the power that the storm has, which is like a vacuum. It's sucking up all this moisture from the air and condensing it into water and condensing it into raindrops and condensing it into hail. And it supports it, it holds it, it holds it, it holds it until it gets so heavy that it rockets down to the ground, and you get these 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts that shoot out ahead of the storm oftentimes, and then you get the rain that follows in right behind it. That's what this kind of cloud will do. So shelf cloud is what we're seeing there. This is rolling into Lawrence. Lawrence, you've got about 10 minutes or less before that's coming in. So we're watching it from that very vantage point. Considerable severe thunderstorm. And all along that line, it's something similar. Not everybody's going to get 70-mile-per-hour winds, but in spots we will. That is our primary concern. The original question was the threat for tornadoes. And the threat for tornadoes is still there. What we will watch are little kinks along the line, these little notches that develop where you can get some very small and usually fairly brief areas of spin that get sucked up into the thunderstorm complex and make these brief tornadoes. We're watching for that, and we don't see much of that yet. That's not been the MO with this cell. With this event. Some days, everything along the line starts spinning. Today's not one of those days. So we're under a tornado watch. There's a threat that we could have a brief spin-up tornado. But the main thing, don't get twisted, is going to be straight line winds. And severe winds at hurricane force can cause problems. And also flooding. Flooding is going to be a big thing for us tonight as well. Shawnee's one question I'm getting. Yeah, sometime around 8:30 to 9, and would be a pretty good estimate for you. And if you do have this coming your way and you're wondering, what do I do? We've got these warnings that are looking spooky, and we've got the sky looking like that. The big thing is just be in a good, sturdy shelter. You be away from windows in the event that something were to get picked up by these powerful winds and blown into a window and try to bust it. But that's the main thing. This is a dangerous storm if you're out in it, but you'll be fine if you're in a good, safe structure. I wouldn't want to be in a mobile home Mobile homes are great. They're great for, affordable housing. But if you've got storms packing upwards of 70-mile-per-hour winds, there's just so much surface area they can blow around. That's not a good structure. You want to be in a well-built structure, but as long as you have that, you're fine. And if you're in a mobile home, a local convenience store, you'll be fine. That would be a good, safe place to go. So there's the latest. I'm going to get back on. You can see an obvious surge with that cluster right there that is nosing out. I think that's going to be an enhanced area of intense winds right there, Corey, that's nosing toward Eudora. So we're going to keep an eye on that. If you could pull up the velocity on that, the radar winds with the radar seeing with that, and we'll get an idea, because it's fairly close to Lawrence, what they're seeing. Because here comes the rain. That rain shaft is blowing into Lawrence as we speak, and out ahead of that is going to be the wind. Right at or out ahead of that, there you can see it. If we go to Corey, he's got the wind speeds, and you can see how that green is lighting up right there. What are we picking up?
So we're on the Topeka radar here. We're getting those yellow pixels, 62 miles per hour. That's one of the stronger winds I'm seeing. And again, using Topeka, it's closer to the surface. It's moving away. And just to the north of Lawrence and just to the north of I-70, right, 60-mile-per-hour plus winds can cause damage. That's where we get to those severe winds. So that's certainly something. And I was just also going to show this graphic here before I send it over to you, Luke. Just north of Lawrence, again, where we're watching those severe winds. I think this is a good graphic, too, to just show you what these winds can do. Trucks can be overturned at 55-mile-per-hour plus winds. We're at that right now. According to the radar, we're close to this where we can see large trees uprooted, but we've seen trees uprooted. That was one of our storm reports of a tree being uprooted, as we've seen 64 to over 70-mile-per-hour gusts. And we can't rule out 74 even mile-per-hour plus gusts. And that's what you just talked about that, right, Luke? Mobile homes, they can be overturned with those winds. So I would look at these three damage factors that we could see from the wind here that could be causing issues here. And that's kind of the range that we're watching here, Luke, with the storms approaching.
Thanks, Corey. Good stuff. Okay, John, I think let's go ahead and kick it over on air unless Josh says otherwise, and we need to come back off. But I think for now, let's go. And just let me know whenever we start, and I'll address that and get us started there. But I think it's about time that we start covering the storms as they move in. So if you would, just let me know. In the meantime, all right, let's go. All right, good evening, everyone. It is 7:59. I want to break in. Wow, that just happened. And let you know that we've got a rather fierce line of storms that is moving quickly into the Kansas City metro. All right, so Lawrence is getting it any minute now. It's essentially moving into Lawrence. Kansas City is coming our way. We just got a new warning. This is a considerable severe thunderstorm. What that means is 70-mile-per-hour winds. We're looking at hurricane force or near hurricane force wind gusts in pockets along this line that is coming through. And it's moving rather quickly in spots. And I want to give you notice of what's coming, and we're going to be here with you until this threat has passed. We are also under a tornado watch. A tornado watch is in effect until 11 tonight. There is a chance that we see some cells want to rotate and spin and cause brief tornadoes. We have not seen that yet, and that's a good sign, because typically what happens is these systems kind of show their cards, and if they want to spin, you'll start seeing it early, and they just kind of carry that through the event. We've not seen much of that. We're going to watch for it. But it's not been a problem yet. I want you thinking about damaging straight line winds. That's our primary concern. And the number one thing to do with this is just don't be out in it. Don't be, you just need to be in a safe shelter. Just be in a good, well-built structure, and you'll be okay. That is not mobile homes, but a convenience store, your house. All of that would be just fine. Stay away from windows and just ride it out as this comes by. We may have some power loss. We've already had that in some spots, but that's the general picture with this. Now, we just had a brand new severe thunderstorm warning that got expanded as I opened up here. And I'm going to walk you through the line. I want to give you estimates. We're also on Facebook. We're on YouTube. I believe we're on TikTok as well. Anywhere you are, we've got you covered. We're going to stay here until this thing's done, okay? Let's get to work. Starting out first, I want to see what this new severe thunderstorm warning is that just got put out. And where it has this white box here, let me move my view for you here so you can see the entire area that's under the... Moving at 70?
Yes,
okay.
With 70-mile-per-hour winds, quarter-size hail.
That's got to be that Eudora. It's that thing right there. All right, that part right there has got to be moving. It's moving so much faster than up here, which, by the way, Corey, if this is going slower and this is going twice the speed, we got to watch for some spin up here.
Okay.
We haven't seen that yet, but if you would keep your eye on that for me. Okay, so new severe thunderstorm warning. This thing is moving very fast. You just heard Corey. I mean, it's interstate speeds that this thing's coming through. We've got Cass, Jackson, Johnson, and Miami counties that are included in this. So we're talking about Jackson County, Missouri. We've got Johnson County, both Kansas and Missouri are included in part of this. No, that's Kansas. We don't have Johnson County, Missouri yet, excuse me. And Cass County, you're included in that on the Missouri side as well. So this goes till 9 p.m., considerable tag. That is for 70-mile-per-hour winds. Could have some small hail, quarter-size hail. These are not producing big hail like they were earlier whenever they were in north-central Kansas, but they do have fierce winds with them. Essentially jet stream level winds. I mean, you're talking about the wind. This is, by the way, the Lawrence cam. We're watching it roll into Lawrence, and we're getting kind of a front row view of what it would be like. Now, Lawrence, of course, right about in this area, looking up at the storm, and they may, I'm most concerned about this part right here from Leavenworth to Tonganoxie and just south. You might just get grazed in Lawrence if it keeps going this way. That right there where you get kind of that bow, that's where it's going to be the most intense. And in fact, Corey, if you would get geared up for that, and we can try to pinpoint where the highest winds are with that. But I'm going to estimate that they're around Tonganoxie and probably just north of Lawrence, somewhere in this area from Leavenworth down to, but we'll see. Bonner Springs, you guys need to be getting ready. And then this is the one, too. Let me move my camera.
Yeah, we've got some 70-mile-per-hour reports just north of Lecompton.
Okay, we've got our first warn weather tracker that's out right now. They're traveling in the direction of Lawrence. They might actually want to head more back toward the KC Metro. I don't know exactly where they are. But this is the next spot, guys. I'm talking about Bonner Springs and Edwardsville and Linwood, and then eventually Overland Park. And this feature, as long as this feature is here, which nobody knows how long we're going to have this kind of bow shape right there, but that's going to be the one that is going to be bringing the damage, 70-mile-per-hour winds, and it's screaming. It's coming in at 70 miles an hour. So its wind speeds are as fast as its forward motion. So Overland Park, maybe Olathe, we'll be watching for that on the west side of the 435 loop. So we're looking at like Linwood, Shawnee, you'd be included in that. Parkville, I'm going to get you times here in just a moment, but Leavenworth, Baser, and Bonner Springs. Corey, are you set over there for possible wind speeds? What the
radar indicated. I can take a look at that as well.
Yeah, let's go to Corey and see what this thing's doing. Get a little analysis.
Yeah, hey, Luke, just along I-70 here. So right now we're talking near Tonganoxie, near Linwood, 78 and 79 mile per hour winds over there. So that's what's rushing out in terms of our radar indicated winds. And that gives you a good idea of what to expect. I'm going to look at this report. I just told you about it, just north of Lecompton, right in that same area. I'm going to click on it again here near Route 24, just north of I-70, confirmed 70-mile-per-hour gusts. So we have official 70-mile-per-hour gusts, and the velocities, Luke, are indicating maybe even stronger winds can be mixed down to the surface.
Thanks, Corey. Yeah, hurricane force gusts. Just be thinking that. I mean, a hurricane force, Category 1 hurricane force wind. I'm checking out the National Weather Service right now. Then I'm going to track it. I'm going to give you some updated times. That's what's coming next. And we're still watching the Lawrence cam, too, because this is rolling. It's right through Lawrence right now, or coming in. But I'm seeing what the National Weather Service is saying about this. And just, I know, tornado watch until 11. Anytime you say the term tornado, that can get some anxiety going. And we're not seeing spins so far. Just this line right now is a pure wind surge line. We're still watching it, but expect some damage in spots as this comes blasting in. All right, we just had another report of a 70-mile-per-hour wind gust that came in out of Leavenworth County. There's a new warning that we got that's just flashing. So this is going to be for Baldwin City and Centropolis. So we're looking at Douglas County and Kansas. That's going to be for that same cell. It's also a considerable. So that may be surging south too. Looks like northern Johnson County and western Wyandotte counties likely seeing severe gusts coming in soon. Okay, so just watching everything here on radar. But Leavenworth City just had the 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts. Okay, so I just wanted to share that with you. Now let's time all this out and give you when can you expect it where you are. So reset this view here. It really has, so at one point we had one big solid, this whole thing was solid. Now we're seeing this one is out racing the line. So it's separating itself. This cluster right here is the thing. This is the thing. If you're north of Easton, you're up here by St. Joe, you're up here by Cameron, you guys are just getting regular old spring thunderstorms. This is another batch, but it's moving more slowly, and that one would be going more like this. So it's this cluster right here from Easton to Lawrence and Eudora that is the primary threat, and it's aimed right at Kansas City and moving southeast at 70 miles per hour. So let's give you timing as best we can. This is tricky, extra tricky today because of the nature that this thing's moving differently in different parts. It's moving at different speeds. So southeast at 70. So this warning goes until 9 p.m. And let me get you your times. I think that's the fastest forward motion I've ever had on a line of storm. I've had 65 before. Okay, Liberty, something that's popped up a lot in the Facebook chat. We're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, we're on TikTok. Liberty, let's talk about you guys. All right, so Platte City, 812. Anywhere in this line is about 815. All right, so that's Platte City. That's all the way down. This is Bonner Springs, so it'll be there earlier in Bonner Springs. Bonner Springs is on your doorstep right now. But anywhere on that black line, somewhere around 810. All right, Kansas City, Kansas, right here. It's got about 820 for that. So this thing, earlier we were tracking it. It has since sped up considerably, so it's coming in faster. So we're talking about 820 or sooner. This is going to be within the 435 loop by 8:15 on its current speed. All right, so that's KCK. That is down to Overland Park by about 820. Overland Park, Kansas. Leawood, going to be pretty close to you guys. Shawnee, Lenexa, all spots that are going to get hit by this thunderstorm coming in and may have, it does have 70 mile per hour winds right now in spots. We've had multiple reports of that. It will, the forecast is it will continue to have that in areas. So we need to be ready for 70 mile per hour winds and damage that comes with that within Kansas City. All right, so 820 would be that time. You get on the Missouri side, you're looking at not much longer. I mean, 830. There's Independence right here. Independence, you'll be looking at about 830. Grain Valley, moving down there by I-70, be looking at about 840 for you. So there's Excelsior Springs. Liberty, you're going to be somewhere around 820 to 830. So Liberty keeps coming up a lot. Now, let's go down the line. And Lee Summit will get you too. It's another one that pops up a lot. All right. So,
destructive.
Destructive.
80.
This is a top level. Okay, guys, this changes things here. I'll explain it in just a second, but while I've got the timing up, let's talk about this. 810 in Bonner Springs, 821 in Overland Park. So that's what we were talking about earlier, about 820. Leawood, about 824. You can see about 830, we're hitting state line. Belton, 830, 835 in Lee's Summit. 835 in Lee's Summit is the estimate. Okay? Now, whenever you see this pink and this hatching pop up, this is the top level severe thunderstorm. We're going to treat this like a tornado warning. This is a destructive severe thunderstorm, which is, what do we have? It's now moving at 55 miles per hour, but the threat is 80 mile per hour winds. Whenever you hit 80 mile per hour winds, the amount of force within the wind is the square of the speed. So it's not like an 80 mile per hour wind is a little bit stronger than a 70 mile per hour wind. It's that the force is the square. So it's got a lot more force to it. An 80 mile per hour wind can cause a lot more damage than a 60 or even 70 mile per hour wind. I know it doesn't seem like it can, but it can. So that's why it goes up to this top level. All right, so a destructive severe thunderstorm warning in effect now for the KC Metro, including Overland Park, Olathe, Belton, until 9 p.m. We do have our first warn weather tracker that's going to be out with this as well. What do you do with this? Again, okay, our first warn weather tracker is heading to Overland Park. They're going to have to be careful, though, guys. This is not something you want to be out on the roads. If you know of anybody that's out driving around, they may not know. You know, your phone probably just went off with this because this will trigger the emergency alerts. This is not a tornado warning. But we treat them like a tornado because this level of wind can cause low-end tornado damage, and it can do it over a broader area. All right, so you don't want to be, especially in a high-profile vehicle with this, but you really don't want to be driving in it, period. So maybe call your family member or your friend or somebody that'd be out driving around and just let them know, hey, time to park it and get to a safe spot. So, you know, if you're at home, again, get away from windows and get to an interior room as this is coming in, because it's going to be a nasty line. This is a nasty, severe thunderstorm. Winds are not going to be your typical, you know, we get severe thunderstorms all the time. Not this one. In spots, if it maintains its strength, I mean, you're talking 80-mile-per-hour winds. The reason why I got into meteorology was a 90-mile-per-hour wind, and it blew a big building down that I was in. That's why I got into weather. I've seen this happen, so just be ready. The building I was in, by the way, was a not great structure. It was big, but it wasn't great. So point is, get to a bathroom, get to an interior room. Just be away from windows. You don't necessarily have to go to your basement. That's an extra safe place to be. But the big thing is to be inside and away from windows. Corey, I wonder if there was a report that came in that triggered this, or if it was estimated on radar. Are you seeing anything from the Weather Service chat? And also, let's see what the winds are putting out.
Yeah, hey, Luke, I was actually looking at that too, and I was looking at the Lawrence report to possibly trigger it. It doesn't look like it's 63-mile-per-hour wind, regardless, still damaging severe winds. I think it's probably what we had on our velocity. Just the scan before you came to me, it was showing 80-mile-per-hour winds. Right now, it's showing 70-mile-per-hour winds. That's near DeSoto, and that is just west of the I-435 loop here. So it is approaching quickly near the metro, right near Bonner Springs and DeSoto is where we're seeing those strongest winds, 70 miles per hour. I'm going to plot it again just to see if I can maybe get some stronger wind gusts in some of these pixels. But yeah, I think 70, 72, okay, around Linwood, around DeSoto, right, causing a lot of damage. And I think it's probably from the radar indicated velocities that we have that destructively tagged thunderstorm warning. And like Luke said, right, treat it like a tornado warning, right? Get inside and try to get to that most interior room and just stay safe and just ride this one out.
Thanks, Corey. Okay, so that's a big, broad area, too, that Corey was just showing. It's not like one little point. Sometimes within a severe thunderstorm, you got one little point. This is rather broad. Okay, let's reset. It's 8:13 right now. The most urgent situation that we have, and by the way, if you look back behind me, that's our Lawrence cam. That's what the storm looks, oh, this is our airport, okay, airport cam right here. This is our tracker. Now, from our tracker, what we've been talking about, we saw it in Lawrence earlier, is that cloud that looks, kind of looks like a UFO. And sometimes people get it confused with a wall cloud. This is not rotating. We are not seeing spins so far. What we are seeing are fierce straight line winds. And that's what it looks like from our first warn weather tracker. This is the vantage point from the airport. And whenever you see that big, long shelf, what we call shelf cloud, out ahead of that and right underneath it is some potent winds. Whenever you see those, you've got a strong storm. And then after the wind, you get the real heavy rain, and sometimes there's going to be some hail in that as well. So the first warm weather tracker out monitoring the situation within, headed back toward KC. They were over at the, they were headed toward Lawrence. And the storm has kind of turned into more of a bow structure, grazing Lawrence and more targeting, especially the central and southern portions of Kansas City and the Kansas City metro. So that's the situation. Within that, this is all a considerable severe thunderstorm warning. This is the destructive part. This is the top tier destructive warning, not a tornado warning, but we treat them like a tornado. This part right here is serious enough where you have the white box. These are severe thunderstorm warnings with up to 70-mile-per-hour winds. These are up to 80-mile-per-hour winds, which are much more destructive, much more powerful. They've got a lot more force. Okay. This is Bonner Springs that we've got here. You said K7 southbound at 43rd Street. Yeah, that's what we've got. So Bonner Springs, let's zoom into Bonner Springs because you guys were one of the, it's right there, guys. All right, so here, that's Bonner Springs. That's what it looks like on my map. And this thing's moving fast, so it's probably already past that point. It's moving at 70 miles an hour, really fast moving cell. That's what it looks like there. It doesn't look like it's raining too hard yet. It doesn't look too rowdy, but that's one to watch, guys, as it comes through through that area. So if we would just keep, you can keep it up if you'd like. There's first warn weather tracker. Okay, I-70 westbound before K7. Is that what we said? I-70, okay, there it is, I-70 westbound. And this would be right before K7. So here's what I-70 westbound's right through here. And whoa, we get some really heavy rain, and it's tough to tell with the wind, but you know, the reason for the warning here is the potential for 80-mile-per-hour wind gusts. So that's what's moving towards Shawnee, Lake Quivira. Roland Park, so we're in Roland Park here at the station or that general area. Merriam, Overland Park, Lenexa, and then eventually it's going to be moving towards State Line. And the timing here it's not going to take long. This thing's going faster than it was forecast because it's sped up. It's past DeSoto, or it's in DeSoto right now. Olathe, here you are, Olathe. Here's the cell, all right? So that's coming in fast at 70 miles per hour, interstate speeds. Half the time it takes to get to DeSoto is when it will reach you. So we're looking here at about 10 minutes, something like that. It's going to be coming into Olathe. Loch Lloyd. Okay, there's K10 eastbound. What you're looking at here on the bottom, K10 eastbound. And torrential rainfall there. You can see people throwing on their hazard lights. Not a lot of hail. You might have some quarter-size hail in this. People slowing down. Yeah, they're hitting something, guys. You see how they were blasting along and then they all hit their brakes? They're hitting something there. It's either heavy or rain, or that's where the wind is really getting going. Look at the camera. All right, K10 eastbound, Lexington Avenue. Look at the camera moving around. You can see this, and they're flashing their headlights. Right now, they are getting hit by some really heavy winds, I promise you. You don't see these scout cams move around very often. 80-mile-per-hour wind gusts is the potential with this. And we're hitting the brakes, K10 eastbound right now. That's the bottom one that you see. So you can see it's getting rough out there. Again, you wouldn't want to be on the roads driving around. Okay. Let's get some times updated here, and then Corey is he's going to take a break. I'm going to get you some wins coming in too. Cool. Okay. I just want to make sure that this is still moving at the same speed, so I get you accurate times. If you're just joining us, maybe your phone went off. The emergency alerts system is triggered whenever you're under a tornado warning. If you're under a destructive severe thunderstorm warning, which we treat like tornadoes because they can cause low-end tornado damage, or if you're under a severe, we're near DeSoto here. DeSoto's in the thick of it. This is K10 eastbound in DeSoto. This is at Kill Creek Road is what we're watching there. And people are moving, but they slowed down. You could tell whenever they hit the worst part of the storm. And I don't know if this is the worst part of the storm, the worst part where they were, because they were flying along and then everybody hit their brakes all at the same time and our cameras were bouncing around a little bit. But anyway, this your emergency alert system, your phone will go off if you're under a tornado warning, a destructive severe thunderstorm warning, or if you've got a flash flood threat that is life-threatening. Talking about a destructive flash flood warning, something that, like a flash flood emergency, like, hey, you've got to get to higher ground. So only in extreme events does your phone do that, and this qualifies. So I just want you to know that. Okay, warning goes till 9, and it is moving southeast at 55 miles an hour. Olathe, you guys are next. Overland Park, it's coming fast toward Overland Park. We're live on KCTV. We're live on YouTube and Facebook. We're here with you until this thing is through. All right, 8:20 is the time right now. Let's get you arrival times. Southeast at 55. Right through there. And Lee Summit, I'm trying to get you as well. If I can't get you on this one, then I'll do it again. Okay, we just got you. All right, Olathe, 8:21. Olathe, it's right there. Overland Park, you've got something like 5 minutes according to this. You might have just a little bit more time. And then Leewood would be 8:30. Here's Raytown. Raytown, you're on the north side. You're on the north side of that warning. There's Belton. So Belton, you're going to be right about the same time as Raytown if you follow these black lines. So it'd be about 8:39. And then here's Lee's Summit. Of course, Lee's Summit sprawls over a pretty big area, but about 8:45 for Lee's Summit is what we see there. We've got some really good images of the storm coming in on our city cams, guys. There's one of them, I think it's our tower cam, that shows this shelf cloud in a really interesting way. You can see people down here really slowing down. This is one of our scout cams that we've got. I believe that was the one that's over in DeSoto. K10 there on the bottom. Here in this middle one, guys, we've got some of our other city cams that show this feature coming in that really highlights it. This is from the airport. This is the First Warn Weather Tracker, and you see up here the little pockets of clouds, what we call Mattis clouds. That's another thing. Whenever you see those, that's a severe thunderstorm most likely, where they got the little pockets with them. Okay, so that's the update there. Corey, with the winds, I think let's pinpoint, if we can, where the winds are most severe right now, if they are still clocking in at 80. We did have a report. There was an actual report of an 80-mile-per-hour wind gust that came in as this line was just a little bit farther to the west. So are we still seeing that on our radar system? Where is it most intense? Let's check in with you.
Yeah, hey, Luke, let's check in on the radar-indicated winds. And you could just visually see right now, I don't even put a tracker on it, right here. These are just where all the strong winds are. We can see the light greens, the whites, and even the blue shadings. Those are the strongest winds that are moving in. I'm going to pinpoint now, and Luke, it looks to be a little bit north, actually, of where the destructively tagged severe thunderstorm warning is, and we might be seeing the strongest winds. It is a little farther from the radar, so it's a little bit higher level, but again, these could be mixed down. 77-mile-per-hour winds, 69-mile-per-hour winds, 70-mile-per-hour winds up to the north there. And I'm going to take some of these off here just to show you, right? We're looking at 70-mile-per-hour plus winds. This is the north side of the metro. It looks like the whole metro right now, Luke, is going to be getting hit with some very impressive winds. This is a little bit to the south here, a little bit weaker, but still possibly destructive winds here that we're tracking near DeSoto, just south of I-70 here, 59-mile-per-hour winds. So, Luke, a large swath here of 60, 70-mile-per-hour plus winds moving through the metro. We had that report of 82-mile-per-hour gusts. So just everyone in the metro, hunker down right now.
It's interesting that you're right. The winds are higher north on our radar system, north of where the destructive tag is. So, you know, if we go back here, so I'm showing you the radar winds, you just look for the brightest colors. Around Parkville, it's lighting up on our system, and we're seeing some fierce winds there. It's saying 70-mile-per-hour winds there in Parkville, but you are under the considerable severe thunderstorm. So we may see this kind of move around a little bit. That's an interesting thing that Corey just noted on. So we'll keep tabs on that for you. If the Weather Service says anything about that, Corey, please just hop in and let us know. But what we're going to treat it, though, as is the actual destructive warning, because we've had reports of this thing. So sometimes we see things on radar, but there's nothing that beats ground truth. Whenever we've got, you know, boots on the ground, people that are out. Okay. Yeah, this is I-435 southbound at what, Leavenworth? Okay, there's 435 southbound at Leavenworth. We might have some hail in there. Maybe we saw some, I don't know if it was lightning or power. Power outage is going to be a problem. Whenever you get 80-mile-per-hour wind gusts, you're going to be breaking trees and branches, and it's going to arc power lines. So be ready. Yeah, we're getting a lot of, probably lightning would be my guess, but we could have arcing power lines out of that too. The question keeps coming up about tornadoes. If you are just joining us, this is not a tornadic system right now. We're not seeing rotation. We're watching, we're under tornado watch. It is possible for brief spin-ups. We don't see that right now. The risk is not a tornado at this moment. It is severe straight-line winds, but tornado-like damage can come from them. So just be in a sturdy, safe structure and away from windows. You know, if you got to turn your TV up and walk away to get to, you know, say it's moving into where you are, then go to your bathroom, just put walls between you and the storm. It could break windows, is the thing. This is not going to blow a house down, but it will break windows, especially if there's debris that gets picked up. And you just certainly would not want to be in a mobile home. You would want to be in a safe structure, even a convenience store. Where do I go? You can go to a box store. You can go to some place that is well built, and you'll be okay. But you've got to be in that. You don't want to be out in this, and you don't want to be driving in it either. Okay, so here's let's zoom in and show you where it is. Shawnee and Turner, it's within the 435 loop right now. Possible 80-mile-per-hour wind gusts coming into Turner and Shawnee. Mission, moments away from Mission. Overland Park, it's on the west side of Overland Park, right here, 635 and 35. There's Lenexa, that's the west side of the 435 loop. There's Edwardsville, it's past Edwardsville. Piper, we had a bad wind gust reported out of there. There's Bonner Springs, Zara, Craig, all within real heavy rain. Latest scan just comes in, so Mission, Overland Park, Roland Park, you guys are going to be next as this comes in. KCK as well, you don't have much yet. don't let it fool you. You know, that's something that people are saying, oh, I don't have any. This is moving from northwest to southeast. So the farther southeast that you are, the longer it will take, but it's coming in. So there's Lenexa right there. Here's Leawood. So Leawood, you've got a little bit more time, but again, it's blasting in at about 55 miles per hour, and then it crosses state line from there, and we're off over into Westport, KC Mo, the south side of KC Mo particularly, and then Dobson, and then eventually this is getting up on 470 toward Lee Summit. We'd be looking at Raytown and Belton down here. You've got a little bit more time toward Belton, so that's going to be coming up in probably about 25 minutes, give or take, toward Belton. Here's Spring Hill. Spring Hill's on the south side of the warning. There's Gardner. Gardner, you may be getting into it, though I think the focal point of the winds are going to be most intense from Olathe up to KCK, and we do need to watch north. North, where we saw it on our radar, that up here, Corey, and if you want, you can speak to this, take it on over, because you pointed something out earlier. Hey, and look at this, Corey, right by Parkville, there's this surge, and this is what we look for as meteorologists, because that's going to be a rear inflow jet. That's where your jet stream winds can focus. They might get a destructive tag coming in there.
A few things here, Luke. They're saying they're watching a little bit of the leading edge of this for possibly some quick rotation. So, I mean, no tornado warning yet, but they're keeping an eye on that. I'm going to go over to the winds here, Luke, and I still think, just visually, you can see the colors, they look to be the strongest off the northwest. This is very close to the airport, Platte City, Leavenworth, just off to the east of there. So it just passed 88 miles per hour. That's impressive. That can be mixed down to the surface. So they might go destructive on this on the northern end of the metro. So everyone in the metro needs to be ready for these storms. I also want to say in this general area near Leavenworth and areas off to the east where we're seeing the strongest winds, look, I'm seeing 500 plus power outages from Evergy there. And I think that seems to be where the most of the power outages are concentrated right now. So in a way, that's also telling me where we could be seeing the strongest winds as well.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I think that we don't want to sleep. We don't want to sleep on the area north of where the destructive warning is. So what Corey was just talking about up here by Parkville, the Northland. If you're in the Northland, and let me zoom in on. Okay. So this is up by Parkville, so the northwest side of the 435 loop, this bottom box that we've got here. So we're watching that, and it looks like torrential rain, but I don't see anything. We ought to keep our eye on that and see what it looks like on the ground. You know, like I say, sometimes on radar, things look a certain way, but in reality, we're getting the reports that are farther to the south. It's a little confusing, but that's what we're seeing. So nonetheless, Parkville and Gladstone, you guys are under a considerable severe thunderstorm warning. So that is still winds to 70 are possible there within the white edge that you've got. So the Northland, you may still get into some rather intense severe level winds. You have the warning for it. We're seeing it on our radar. We've been talking a lot about the destructive warning that's further to the south. This would be Liberty. This would be Gladstone. Okay, there's Briarcliff that we've got in our middle box right here. This is Briarcliff. So another one that we're watching, 435 on the bottom here. This is the northwest side of the 435 loop near Parkville. This is our first warn weather tracker. They're out monitoring this as it comes on in. Everybody in the KC Metro is under at least a severe thunderstorm, a 70 mile per hour considerable severe thunderstorm warning, and some of us are under an 80 mile per hour destructive severe thunderstorm warning. Okay, so I'll time this part out here. We've been talking a lot about the south, so let me start over. Airport cam. Here's our airport cam, and whoo, it is rocking, isn't it? Okay, this is the outside of the destructive tag that we just had. So we're getting into the meat of this considerable severe thunderstorm warning that is north. So this is the lower tier. But Corey noticed, hey, it looks rough up there. And that's what we're seeing. So right around Farrellview, right around the airport, Weatherby Lake, Lake Wacomas, Parkville, moving toward Gladstone, get ready for some potential damaging straight line winds coming in. The tornado threat we're watching. We don't see much rotation right now. There's no current tornado, but we do have intense and likely damaging straight line winds on the order of hurricane force that are coming through the KC Metro as we speak. All right, and moving southeast rather fast at about 50 to 60 miles per hour. As that line surges by, that means it won't take a lot of time to cover ground, and is moving at interstate speeds. So that's what we see. We're going to have a lot of power outages out of this. If you have time and you're out ahead of it, let's say you're on the Missouri side, maybe you take a few minutes and charge your device. You might want that. And just watching this come through. So there it is, full screen with, this is from the airport, if you're just joining us, potential 70-mile-per-hour winds coming through there. And that's what we're seeing on our radar, at least on our radar has been seeing that. Let's check in. While this is up, okay, there we go. I'm gonna see what the Weather Service has. Actually, Corey, while I'm checking in on the Weather Service, and I'm gonna do another track because we went full screen, I'll do another track here in just a moment. If you would like, what you did last time, kind of pinpointing where the worst winds are,
okay.
I think is always helpful.
Yeah, we're also getting some new reports. I could break that down real quick for you. And also, I want to say that we're getting the rain right now, Luke.
Yeah, it's coming into Roland Park.
Yeah.
We're getting it here and moving. All right, I want to make sure I get everybody that's up here in this part of the, so what you're watching, what we just went full screen, is up here. This is where the airport camera is. And all right, so Sugar Creek, 841. Independence, 843. Blue Springs, 851. So Liberty, you're in the second one. So this would be the 840-ish time is whenever it should be approaching Liberty. There's Sugar Creek. Raytown, you're going to be roughly 835 for Raytown. And then there's Blue Springs. Blue Springs, about 850. And then about 9 o'clock for Grain Valley. That's what the timing is for that. Now let's update the timing.
65,000 power outages.
65,000?
Mm-hmm. 6,500, I apologize, 6,500.
Okay. Still, we're going to have a lot. And that's probably going to take a little time to come in. All right, here we go. I'm going to redo this. I got to pull my view out just a hair, so ignore this. So I want to get you all through this zone where this destructive severe thunderstorm warning is, your time of arrival. Okay, Leawood, 834. Stanley, be 836. You can see our cameras are just lighting up. Wow, look at the airport cam. What's the one in the middle, guys? Is that our tower cam? We just lost, there's our tower cam in the middle. The airport's really rocking up there north. Yeah, we lost our tower cam. You know, it's in and out. It's taking a beating up there. And then this one down here, this is the northwest side of the 435 loop still. Okay, thank you, Stanley. I so appreciate you. Wow, rough storm, rough weather. This is a nasty, severe thunderstorm coming in. All right, so Grandview, 841, Belton, 845, and then after that, we'd be getting into Peculiar between about 8:50, 9 o'clock. Cleveland, you'd be about 8:45. And then past that, we'd be looking toward Pleasant Hill. That'd be about, that'd be after 9. After 9, Lone Jack and places like that. So make sure I got
79-mile-per-hour gust at the airport.
At the airport. See, I mean, that's, if they got a, that should have a destructive.
Yeah, it should.
I mean, I bet it will. I say should. I'm not, you know, the National Weather Service is a fantastic group of meteorologists, but they probably just got that report.
Yeah.
But Corey had seen that on radar. And there,
tornado warning.
Okay, let's get up here on this. Tornado warning coming in. This is north. This is out of the Parkville area. This is where we were just watching. This is just southeast of this camera.
Radar indicated.
Okay, so we've got a tornado warning, the first of the day, that just popped out. All right, this is for Clay, Jackson, Platte, Wyandotte counties, and this goes until 9 p.m. We have a radar indicated tornado, which means that it's possible that there's one in there. This would be a one of these kind that spin up quickly. It's moving east at 40 miles per hour, and it would be about Gladstone is where we see a little bitty notch. So what I'm watching for is right there. There's a little notch in there. It's not much, but you can see just enough where it's got some curl to it that there could be some spin just east of Parkville, right around Gladstone, and then moving east. So next in line would be Liberty and Birmingham, and then eventually over here toward Missouri City. Independence, the rotation would be north of you. Kansas City, you know, we'd be looking at the Northland, but if you're south of Gladstone, then you're probably okay. It would be right there about Gladstone, or just west of Gladstone, and moving east at 40. So let's time this out, get you when it could be in your area. If you're in this tornado warning, then get to your basement if you got one. And if you don't have one, then your bathroom is always a good option. You know, just quickly get to your bathroom, and if you don't have a good bathroom to go to, maybe it's got a lot of windows or something, just put as many walls between you and the possible tornado as you can. That's the best thing to do. So take your phone with you, take your device with you, and that way you can track warnings and just get to your safe spot, whatever that is. And I know not everybody's got a basement. All right, there's 40 miles an hour to the east. And so it's in Gladstone. Gladstone, you're most urgent. This is where the possible tornado would be, is right about Gladstone. Next would be Claycomo at about 8:45, so that would be about less than 10 minutes. And then Liberty would be 8:50, and then Eaton at 8:56, Missouri City at 9:01. And if you don't have, if there's not a tornado in there, and we don't know if there is or isn't, but if there's not, then there's still these ferocious straight winds. I mean, this is going to be a rough storm. As you're watching, this right here is our airport cam, and wow, you barely see it. The rain's so heavy. I mean, it's cranking up there, and that's away from the worst part of it. So, new tornado warning. If you're just joining us, your phone was going off, and you just kicked it over to KCTV5. You've got a radar indicated tornado. We're not sure that there's one there. This one down here. This is our Gladstone cam, or is our... Okay, 169 northbound past 68th Street in Gladstone. That's what we're looking at down here in our bottom box. So Gladstone, we're watching you for a possible tornado. This is Briarcliff, so we're looking at the Northland up here. There's Briarcliff, our camera. This one's the airport. And our biggest concern right now is about Gladstone and now just east of Gladstone. And this is where we have a potential tornado. We don't know if one's there or not, but on radar there's enough spin, there's a threshold that's met where, hey, there's something that popped up there pretty quickly, and we could have a tornado there, and it's moving east at about 40 miles per hour. So we're watching this area very closely. Let's zoom in. So as fast as this thing's going, Claycomo, it might already be knocking on your door, because our radar takes about 4 minutes for a full scan to come through. So what you'll see is this line will jump, and the next one that we see is going to be closer to Claycomo. Claycomo, you need to be in your safe spot. Maple Park, Glen Eyre, Liberty, you've got a little bit more time, but not much. Not much in Liberty. So these are all spots, South Liberty especially, running east, running eastward here. So let's get you some cross streets. North and south is Brighton, so this is going to be coming up on 435 rather quickly. Okay, 635 and High Drive is right here. So 635 and High Drive is what we've got. It's a good clear scout cam. We'll be interested to see what these trees, how they end up blowing around with this thing coming through. But Glen Eyre, Liberty, South Liberty, all coming up next, and it's moving quickly at about 40 miles per hour. So Claycomo, Gladstone, right now, the most likely areas where we could have a possible tornado, and then moving eastward, right along, well, east of 35. It's going to be tracking east of 35. So it would be what, south, I think south of 152 Highway. This is 152 Highway right here. And it's going to be likely north of Birmingham. Birmingham, you should go ahead and take shelter too to be safe. There's Randolph, take shelter just to be safe. I think the way this is going, it's going to be just north of Wynwood Gardens, Gladstone, Claycomo, eastward. There's our scan, just came in, told you to be closer to Claycomo. It's not there quite yet, but just around Wynwood or just north of Wynwood Gardens, now east of Gladstone, is where we would have a potential tornado. So that's the story there. Let's get back. Corey, do you have any updates on your end? I haven't checked in on chat or...
I just know right now that the 80-mile-per-hour destructively tagged severe thunderstorm warning is going to be continued.
Okay. Radar support that, or do are reports coming in? I would imagine.
I'm not seeing report. It still is the north part where we're getting that tornado warning.
Yeah.
And it's honestly good there's a tornado warning, because even if there isn't a tornado on the ground, it should treat it like a tornado warning.
Okay.
That's how strong the winds are up there. Yeah, that 79-mile-per-hour gust we had at the airport, and then we have a damage report that's near Parkville. I'm going to click on that right now. It says down tree limbs near Oak Creek Court.
Okay. Yeah,
So-
I would expect that with
Yeah.
what we saw coming through. Everybody's getting into a thunderstorm, and a lot of this is pretty rough. potential tornado in the red box that we see that's up there around Clay Como right now is where that would be. And additionally, we just spent a lot of time on the tornado warning. I do want to get back to, because we treat these like tornado warnings. This is a destructive, severe thunderstorm warning that is blowing through the KC Metro as we speak. So I want to be checking in on this as well. And from Raytown to Arrowhead, down to Dodson. Here's Red Bridge down here. So you'd be looking at like Red Bridge, and there's State Line. So State Line, you've got Leewood, just past Leewood, and down toward Hickman Mills. This is Martin City. There's Martin City right there. If you've ever been to Martin City, where Martin City Brewery comes from, Red Bridge, Dodson, Raytown. And then Belton's going to be farther down here, down off of what, 49, and then moving toward Lee's Summit. So let's get you guys some times. And let's go 50 is what this one's been moving. Just got a new scan in. The concern here, 80 mile per, wrong thing. 80 mile per hour straight line winds here. All right. Corey Kowitz and I, we're here. We're going to be here with you until this thing's done. All right. So Grandview, 841. Belton, 845. It's 841 right now, so it's in Grandview. Belton, you've got like 4 minutes. Lee's Summit, on its current speed, which it has been surging back and forth, so this is an estimate, it is at about 850 for Lee's Summit, so, and everywhere that's kind of along this line. And then here's Greenwood. Greenwood, you'd be at about 853, and Peculiar, about 856. So Lee's Summit, one of the bigger cities within that, about 850. This could pack up to 80 mile per hour winds. Okay, here's the Northland. I-29 is what we've got. This is I-29 southbound at North Oak Traffic Way. And we've been watching up here. Let's get back up to our tornado warning. Okay, this is around Clay Como. This is a radar indicated tornado. We're watching our cams. We've got our cams up here. We're giving you what it actually looks like in the storm and several different vantage points from the Northland. What's our top one now? That's still the airport. The airport got a lot better, obviously. Yeah, still airport. Okay. And then we've got, is that the triangle in the middle? I-29 and Cookingham now in the middle. Okay, I-29 and Cookingham. So we're focused up here on the Northland with this potential tornado. And then down here on the south, I-29 southbound at North Oak Traffic Way. Rough weather there. Where we would see the possible tornado looks to be right around Clay Como. I'm going to switch over here for just a moment and go to this is looking inside the storm. This can help us to determine where there may be. Okay, so if we had a tornado, I gotta say rotation doesn't look overly impressive, but on a day like this, they can pop up so fast, and our radars are seeing so much of the straight line wind that it doesn't take a lot to get something to spin. So I'm just saying that if we had something, it'd be right there. It doesn't stand out like a normal day would to me, where we would expect to have bright colors of red and green next to one another, but if I saw one, it'd be right there. You see this little notch, right east of Clay Como, southwest of Liberty, tracking east. We need to be in our tornado shelters in Clay Como, in Liberty, in South Liberty, Riverbend to be safe, Birmingham, you're okay. Wynwood Gardens, you're okay. Gladstone, you're okay. Barry, you're on the back side of it, you're all right. Roosterville, I would be in my tornado safe area there, my shelter. Chandler, I'd be in my shelter. These two are out of caution. You are in the warning, but I think it's right here from Liberty to Clay Como to South Liberty. That's where that spin would most likely be. And that's where a possible tornado could occur. If it's not there, it could drop at any moment. And if you don't get that, I just want you to be ready for some powerful straight line winds regardless. You're probably going to see those. All right, let's track this one out. This one's been moving, I believe, east at 40. Corey, can you confirm that for me on the tornado warning? Mm-hmm. I think it's 40 and east. We've been tracking so many, these things have been going.
40, yep, east. I also want to add, too, 24,000 now customers out.
Man, I'm telling you.
Mainly on the north side.
On the north side?
Yeah.
Interesting. Whenever you get something like this that plows through, it's a big area it's a big wind bag of a system, then you're going to have quite a few power outages. Okay, Riverbend, 851. We're at 845 right now. Cobbler at 856. Missouri City at 9. I'm actually going to redo this because there are some of you that are much, much closer and I want to get you. So like Liberty and Riverbend. Let's do this way. There we go. Let's try that.
We're watching something east of Avondale, last few scans.
Are you another area?
TDS, they said.
Okay.
Yeah, TDS.
Get ready for that if you would, and then I'll come to you next. Corey sees something he wants to pop out. All right. So Liberty 846, Riverbend 849. It's 846 right now. So Liberty, tornado shelter. Basement, interior room. If you don't have a basement, bathrooms are usually pretty good. South Liberty, you've got 850. A little bit, 5 minutes. So just quickly get you and your family there. Cobbler, we don't know if there's a tornado, but there may be. If there's a TDS, then that would be quickly becoming a confirmed tornado. So we'll see what Corey's got here momentarily. And then 856 past that would be like in this line from Missouri City down to just east of Blue Mills. So there, right there, just around between Glen Eyre, east of Claycomo, and north of Birmingham, a possible tornado. Okay, Corey, let's go to you. You got the debris tracker up, it looks like?
Yeah. So, right, they say TDS, tornado debris signature, that we're watching near Avondale. This scan here is at 8:40, so this was 6 minutes ago, and this is something that they might have been watching. It was probably this. So what we're watching is debris tracker. You look for these lighter colors. That means there's a lot more random assortment of objects in the scan, and that, in other terms, could mean that there was a tornado here because there might be debris that was chewed up. This is near Randolph, Avondale, Birmingham. So this was 6 minutes ago. I'm going to go to right now, though, here, Luke, and see. I think it's gone away. It's just very messy here, Luke, right? But they're watching that as well. I'm not sure if this is something, too, in Kansas City, although I think it's just random pixels. But I do, just looking at the last few scans here, it looks like it's gone away. So it was probably this right here near North Kansas City, near Avondale, and it looks to have gone away. So there could have been a tornado on the ground that we're watching. But it looks like if it was on the ground, I'm not seeing a whole lot right now. But again, this is a pretty messy scan. So just treat it like there's a tornado on the ground if you're in the warned area.
Yeah, it would have been on the ground for quite a while if it had done that. I mean,
Yeah,
if that were an actual debris signature, then it would have been on the ground for a good amount of time. It traveled, because it was moving so quickly, it covered a lot of ground. New tornado warning. New tornado warning just came out, okay? So this is south of the one that we've been tracking up by Avondale and Claycomo. So this one also radar indicated. This is new, like storms were not spinning and rotating until just a few minutes ago. Tornado warning, Jackson County. We're looking at Jackson County in Missouri, 9:15, and this is moving east at 40 miles per hour. And trying to find exactly where they saw something. Oh, okay, we did
Black,
go confirmed.
so confirmed.
We're
Okay,
confirmed
probably
up
from
here
the
to the
TDS.
north. I assume it's from that TDS that we don't see anymore, but we don't want to assume anything. If you get information, Corey, please share it. But I'll start with this warning here.
Radar confirmed tornado, so the TDS.
Yeah. I think that's
Debris signature.
okay. Here we're just going to run this whole line out. It's moving east at 40. I'm gonna get you some times. Let's get rid of this. New tornado warning. So this is those of us that need to be taking shelter. Lee's Summit Municipal, 851. All right, so here's Independence. Here's Blue Springs, Grain Valley, Lee's Summit Municipal, Lake Topawingo about 853. So 850 Lee's Summit Municipal, 855 Blue Springs, Grain Valley 902, 908, and Oak Grove. Oak Grove would be 908. So Lee's Summit, it's actually, on the very north. So here's Unity Village. Lee's Summit's down here. So Lee's Summit, it's if you're on the north side of Lee's Summit, Lee's Summit and Blue Springs kind of connect. In between these two is where the tornado warning takes place. So I just want you to know that. Where I think it would be most likely is actually going to be kind of near the point. But Corey will come to you with both the debris tracker and also I want to, on the second warning, where is it that we're seeing the potential spin? On my radar, it's not obvious. I think it's just something real small, real small. Here's the other one. So this is the update. Now that we see that this has got the black box, this is the one that we are tracking near Claycomo. We have a confirmed tornado warning now. What we think is going on with this is there was a signature on radar where our radar can actually see debris being picked up. And Corey has been watching that. He's been watching the chat from the Weather Service where they're giving us reports. And it looked like there was debris being lofted by a tornado, what we call a tornado debris signature. Whenever you see that, then you've got a confirmed tornado. We don't see that signature anymore, so we don't know that there's still one there, but we're going to treat it as though it is. We have a confirmed tornado warning for this right here. So just letting you know, I-70 at Lee's Summit Road is what we're showing you right here. So you can get views, all these views up here. We're trying to show you the storm of what it looks like on the ground. That's First Warn 5 weather tracker. I-70 Lee's Summit Road. And then down south, this is I-70 westbound at Stadium Drive, I believe, is where that one is. Okay, so anyway, this tornado warning for Clay and Jackson counties until 9 p.m. If you are in Birmingham, if you're in Liberty, you should be okay. The rotating part of the storm would be out here at the leading edge. That's what we'd seen earlier with the radar winds and where we saw the possibility of debris being picked up by this thing. If you're out ahead of it, though, then you need to be taking shelter. So this goes for another 9 minutes on the current tornado warning here. Let's get you some times, and it's going, let's see what it's doing now. The radar confirmed, it's east at 40. East at 40, and here we go. It'd be somewhere along this leading line. All right, so we've got 853 Eaton Power Plant, 855 Missouri City, 856 Lake City at 9, and 905 in Buckner. So where this would be is getting on, so let's kind of get our view here again. Just kind of reset. It's 852 right now. So this would be somewhere between Liberty or east of Liberty and down to east of Independence. There's some spin in here and a confirmed tornado warning where there was at least at one point a tornado, and it may still be there. So that's tornado warning number 1. This is the 435, so that's the east side of the 435 loop. Birmingham, Independence, Liberty. It looks like it would be east of Liberty to Independence, and it would be in this line southwest of Missouri City. Let me zoom in and give you, so I'm thinking like Riverbend. This right here, just so you know, would be 291. This is 291. I think it's around 291 or just east. 8 through 10 Blue Mills, there it is. So now it's we just got the newest radar scan. Missouri City down to Blue Mills. That's where we could have a possible tornado. And moving east at 40, so next would be Lake City and then possibly toward Buckner. Here's the other tornado warning, and I'm going to go over to Corey with this one because what we need to find out with this one is it's there because our radar is seeing some spin. Where's that spin? What you got, Corey?
Yeah, hey, Luke, it's messy, right? This is not an obvious situation, and like you said, they're up and down these tornadoes very, very quickly, so they could be in between scans, but what we have here is that black is an observed tornado from a radar, from a debris signature. We see the black. Just to the south of it is a red. A radar indicated tornado warning. So we're watching all of that right now. We're watching for spin. You look for kind of these notches. Any spot where it's blowing really fast out of there, and that's going to maybe create some spin. So I'm not seeing a whole lot, right? Some notches here and there, maybe right there. We're watching for a little spin near Eaton, Riverbend, headed towards Atherton, Blue Mills as well. I'm not seeing really any tornado debris signatures as well. And yeah, to the south, right, you're just looking at these little notches here, right? These little bulges out here. Anything around there, that could quickly spin up. These would be very quick, right? Possibly up and down very quickly, so it'd be tough to see on radar. But Celsa near Blue Springs, be on the lookout for any of these notches here that could create some spin right around here, right around here. There's a lot of spots here, Luke, that we're watching out for. Nothing is very obvious, so really anywhere that is in East Kansas City, headed towards out there, I-70 there, where you see these polygons, this black polygon and this red polygon, just hunker down. It's not very obvious where a tornado is forming here.
Okay, good stuff. Thanks, Corey. I'm going through, we're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, we're on TikTok. Wherever you are, we're there, and I'm going through all the chat. Thank you, by the way. This helps because you give us your reports of what you're seeing. I'm getting a lot of power outage reports. Something else we can be looking at is power outages. We're going to have a lot of them with this thing coming through. So I know a number of you are probably watching on a device right now, and you can't, you couldn't turn on your TV if you wanted to. I'm getting some questions about who's good, who's okay, who's all clear. I'll address that, and we're going to go through this line yet again. We have 2 tornado warnings. We have a destructive severe thunderstorm warning with 80-mile-per-hour wind gusts possible. So just letting you know that we're looking through, we're trying to answer questions. A number of places are saying sirens are going off. Some of them make sense, some of them don't. So let's get to work on that. It is 8:55, reset, and let's get our bearings here. We have a nasty cluster of storms that is moving through and has moved through. Some of you are on the better side of this, through Kansas City, in the Kansas City area. This is it. Within it, we have multiple warnings. The big overarching warning, everybody within this zone has had the threat of 70-mile-per-hour straight-line winds. That's a severe thunderstorm warning, a considerable severe thunderstorm warning. Within that, we have multiple enhanced warnings that are where we're seeing focused, even more intense weather, whether it be from tornado warnings, which we have 2, to a destructive severe thunderstorm warning with 80-mile-per-hour wind gusts possible. Now, let's start with who is okay, who's doing better. If you're in Weatherby Lake, if you're in Kansas City, Kansas, if you're in Overland Park, if you're on the Kansas side, period, you're okay. You're still in some warnings, but this is blasting through. It may be gusty back here. You're still getting some winds to come down, but the severe portion of the storm is done. If you're in Raytown, if you're in Grandview, if you're in Belton, if you're up by Smithville, if you're north of Raytown, let's talk about like Independence and Liberty. You guys are kind of in the thick of it right now. And who needs to be taking shelter are those that are at the very leading edge of this line and out ahead of this line in either of the warnings that we have from the tornado warning, the confirmed tornado warning, which has got the black box here, the radar indicated tornado warning. Looks like that one just got extended. So a new tornado warning that we'll get to in a moment. And then also the destructive severe thunderstorm warning. So Lee's Summit, Peculiar, Pleasant Hill. Lee's Summit just got into it with potential 70 to 80 mile per hour wind gusts. Lone Jack, Strasburg, Harrisonville, you guys will be coming next. Let's get in on this new confirmed tornado warning. There may be something on the chat about that the Weather Service had said. Let's see, I'll check.
Another TDS note, east of Liberty.
East of Liberty, okay. Will you be on that for me, my man? Thank you, sir. So Corey's going to find that. And that will show us exactly where the tornado is. As soon as you get that, Corey, shout out and we'll go to it. So we've got it moving east at 35, confirmed tornado that was east of Liberty, near Liberty, but east of it, moving east at 35. So as soon as we spot that,
I think I got it right now.
Let's go to you.
Again, it's not very obvious, Luke. And we in the National Weather Service have a tough task right now to determine what's going on. It's a very muddy situation. But I think right here, this is what we're watching out for. I'm going to name out some of the communities here and also some of the roads here. This is Highway 210. Again, this is east of Liberty, Missouri City, Miltondale, Excelsior Springs, Wood Heights, Rayville, Oric, Sibley, Atherton, right? This is possibly, I mean, it's not confirmed, but at least the radar is saying there is debris signature, so likely there is a tornado on the ground. And okay, it's just jumped. Here's a new scan. And it could be either one of these debris signatures. The good thing is it's not very obvious, which means if it is producing damage, it's not producing a ton of damage. But right, Missouri City could have just gone through there. Miltondale as well, and kind of looking out ahead of it here. Oric, Richmond, Henrietta, Fleming, along areas of Highway 216, or I'm sorry, 210. Yeah, be in your safe space right now. A radar confirmed tornado based off of debris signature.
Thanks, Corey. Yeah, on the winds, it's looked like it's not a typical day where these things are jumping out to us because there's so much background wind with it all. But between Chandler and Missouri City is what it looks like there. So just if you're in the tornado warning, and Liberty, you're getting into some strong straight line winds. Liberty, you're out of threat of the tornado. But just know that if you're in the tornado warning, we're having a tough time just trying to pin it down. It's a messier than normal. There's another tornado warning that's coming in too. Okay, let's look at this one. We've got now 3 tornado warnings. 2 of them are confirmed. This is going to be on a leading edge for the confirmed tornado from Missouri City, right up here. This right, if you're west of this, like you're in Liberty, you're okay. But right here, going from Missouri City, Buckner, Napoleon, you're just on the very edge of it, Oric. These are all spots. So like Lake City, here's Missouri City, Chandler, Missouri City, there's Miltondale, Sibley, all spots need to be getting in your shelter. Oric, Fleming, Buckner, Lake City. That's all within a confirmed tornado warning that we have that is moving through the northeastern part of the KC metro. So let's go down and see what this new one is. So here's a new tornado warning.
Radar indicated.
Yeah, this is going to be, this one we don't know, there's spin, we don't know if there's one there. This is northeastern Jackson County till 9:15 and moving east at 40. So we'd be looking at Blue Springs. This is a continuation of one that by Blue Springs, Grain Valley. So be probably somewhere in this notch would be the best guess. But anyway, we're up here by Buckner, and that's in the confirmed tornado warning. So you need to be in your safe area regardless, be in your shelter. And then all the way down toward Blue Springs, there's Grain Valley. This right here is I-70. So I-70 running toward Oak Grove. You're in the tornado warning as well. And then it stretches down. This is Lake Lotawana that we've got to the south. And Oak Grove and looks like Snee Mills, Tarsi. So it would probably be along 7 Highway, somewhere around Blue Springs, 7 Highway and 40. 40 Highway would be a good estimate of where the most likely area it is, but anywhere within this zone, we're not certain. We're just not certain today because it's messy with all the background wind where the spin is most prevalent. Tornado warning goes through that whole zone, okay? So that's going to be for northeastern Jackson County in Missouri. We have dropped, new update here, the destructive severe thunderstorm warning that we had that made it all the way to about Lee's Summit, and then that one got dropped. So we still have a considerable severe thunderstorm warning. 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts are possible in this arcing bowing line. So what we have, the thing that's going on is we've got this bowing line all through here. And whenever you have a bow like that, it's what we call a bow echo, and like a bow and arrow. That's what it looks like, right? Well, what you get is at the top, this is kind of curling wind back around it. At the bottom, it's curling wind back around it and enhances and pulls down jet stream winds in the middle. And that's why the middle will go faster, and it also will have the higher straight line winds. And on top of that, where you get all this interaction of wind speeds going faster in some places and slower in others, you get this little bit of spin, and you can get these tornadoes that start to pop up, which is why we had the tornado watch in effect that goes until 11 tonight, by the way, okay? So there's the update with that. Corey, if you've got reports coming in, I haven't checked in on any of those. You can relay any of that.
Lots of wind reports, and yeah, we're getting 70-mile-per-hour plus reports, near 80-mile-per-hour reports, and I'm just going to put here. Let's just see in the metro how many we've gotten here. Probably, and we do that again. I want to catch all of them here. How many reports we've gotten here of last 30 minutes or so. Look, sometimes you lose track of time, I guess, when you're doing this here. 10 reports, so 4 wind damage reports in the metro, and that's what these would be. And you can see they're exclusively on the north side. It looks like that's where the strongest winds were. And 6 severe thunderstorm wind gust reports. Again, you can just see spatially where they're scattered, mostly on the north side, but we do have a couple here near Shawnee and near Overland Park. So verified severe winds and damaging winds as well.
All right, a lot of questions coming in about am I okay in certain spots, certain zones. So again, if you are west of this line, if you're in Wyandotte County, if you're in Leavenworth County, if you're in Johnson County, Kansas, if you're on the Kansas side, period, generally, yeah, you're okay. This is all past you, all right? So you may have some rough, it's still gonna be windy, and you may still have some lightning, but it's the Missouri side. This is passed over in the Missouri side. Now, not everybody in the Missouri side is still under a warning. So Kansas City, Missouri, Casey Mo downtown. I'm getting a lot of reports of sirens going off in various places. There's only 2 tornado warnings right now, and they're generally east. They're all east of like the 435 loop. So Liberty, you may be included. You are included in that warning. This is a confirmed tornado warning, but the rotation would be over here, anywhere from Buckner to Missouri City. Liberty, you're pretty much okay. You've got heavy winds and you've got a lot of rain and it's going to be nasty outside, but the tornado threat is past you in Liberty. It's past you in Independence. Where we're looking at the threat right now is basically in a leading edge of this line that stretches from Sibley to Missouri City and Buckner, and follow it with me down toward Lake Lotawana. There's Tarsney, east of Lake Topawingo, Oak Grove, Snee Mills, and then for severe thunderstorm it would be Lone Jack, Pleasant Hill, there's Harrisonville, there's Peculiar, Freeman, all these spots. This is going to be surging down, and we could have some kind of fierce straight line winds, although I don't think they're going to be as bad down here. You might have some 60, possibly 70 mile per hour winds. So there's the big picture. If you're wondering, am I okay? Am I, still under the threat? A lot of us are clearing in Kansas City. The worst of it is over for most of us in the metro, but it does continue for those of us that are just on the east side of the KC Metro and locations east of there. So we just got a new update that looks like a continuance of the considerable severe thunderstorm warning. Let's get back on the latest track of where we have this confirmed tornado warning. And nothing new coming in on our side. The deal with this one is we had our radars got the ability to see debris that's being picked up, and it saw that with this storm. So that automatically flags, hey, this thing's doing it. This thing's it had a tornado warning on it, and then it went confirmed whenever it was discovered that, hey, this is showing up on radar now. So within that, it's really difficult because of the messy nature of today's system to pinpoint exactly where that tornado would be. We haven't seen the debris over the past couple scans, but it doesn't mean that it's not there. What you typically look for are these hooks, these curls. That's the storm system actually starting to wrap itself around. So my best guess, and it is a guess, I want to be crystal clear. If you're in this tornado warning and you are Missouri City and east, you need to be in your shelter. My best guess would be it would be somewhere around Missouri City to Sibley, though I am not certain of that. Go ahead, Corey.
I just want to add here, the whole severe thunderstorm warning, that is, they dropped the destructive tag, but the considerably tagged severe thunderstorm warning in white, this whole thing right here is tornado possible. So really you can treat just south of Excelsior Springs and down to the south here, Raymore, Kingsville, near Warrensburg and Higginsville. Treat it like it's tornado warning. I mean, some do have tornado warnings, but this whole broad area, right, it's messy. We're doing our best to try to track it out, and that makes it all the more dangerous because it'll be just tough to see it and tough for us to message it to you as quickly as we can. So really east of KC, southeast of KC, Kingsville, Warrensburg. I'm going to zoom in just so I can name off some more towns for you guys. Higginsville, Odessa, Pleasant Hill, and right, Pleasant Hill, where the National Weather Service is, they just said that they got a 60 mile per hour gust as well.
Okay, thanks, Corey. And wow, right there at the radar. Yeah, okay. I'm going through the Facebook chat, and is Riverside good now? Yeah, Riverside should be good. Kansas is good. If you're on the Kansas side, generally you look good, all right? It's past you. And Liberty, sirens are going off in Liberty, which is interesting to me. You are under the tornado warning, but the rotating part of the storm is east of Liberty. Here's Liberty. This is the spot that we've got to watch. Okay, it's at the leading edge and ahead is where you're at risk for a possible tornado. Is that? I'm checking I can see your winds there, Corey. Is that's current over Missouri City?
Storm relative. Yeah, over Missouri City.
So it looks like, yeah, it would be like right here. Looking at radar, I just saw something off screen that Corey's looking at. So Corey, he's doing analysis today. He is tracking reports and he's analyzing the storms while I'm tracking them out for you and trying to answer your questions. And I looked off screen and I could see where his winds were, and it looks like it would be somewhere around here. What we were thinking. So around Missouri City, most likely is where, if there is a tornado, that's where the best spin is. It's right there. So I'd be tracking toward Oric and Buckner. You should be in your shelter too. Napoleon, this is the end of that confirmed tornado warning. But that right there around Missouri City would be the most likely area. No power. A lot of people have lost power. And let's see, 66,000 people without power right now is what so you're probably watching us on a device at this point, I would imagine. We're on YouTube, we're at KCTV5+, we're on our app, we're at KCTV5.com, we're on Facebook, we're on TikTok. I want you to know, anytime that there's storms like this, you'll find us there. And we want to be where you are, and you don't have to go looking for us, and if you lose power, you can't watch TV, but you can still watch us, and we're still going to walk you through the storms every time. All right, I promise you, this is what we do. Our number one priority is the safety of you and your family, and if there's tornado warnings or the threat of them, we will be here with multiple meteorologists every time. Okay, so sirens are still going off in many places like Raytown. There's a lot of places. Guys, don't rely on sirens. It's always good to have sirens, but it's a last resort, and sometimes they don't make sense. Raytown, showing you right here, you're clear. Raytown, this is the storm. It's passed. There is a tornado warning. I understand why they're airing the sirens, but I just let you know The rotating part of the storm, the tornado threat, is over here toward the eastern part of the warning. So this warning here is, we're going to see if they extend it, but the rotation is along the leading edge. It is not on the back side. So you're okay. I'm just letting you know that in Raytown. Okay, let's look back at this, what we were just looking at with, Raytown and the sirens going off. The point for this tornado warning, this is a radar indicated tornado warning, Sneed Mills, Oak Grove. All right, shelter where you need to be right now, but this is just about to the end of the warning. The National Weather Service has not yet extended it. We've not seen strong signs of rotation on our end, but still, there could be something, so we're going to treat this, if you're in Oak Grove, with respect. And we've got some of our cams up for you here. This is I-70 westbound, right before Adams Dairy Parkway on the bottom. You can see just how fierce some of the rain is. It has been pouring. Up here at the top, I'm not exactly sure where that is. So anyway, multiple cameras, we're watching them as these come blasting past. Most of KC's doing better now, but that's one tornado warning that we've got. I would track it, but I don't want to send the signal to Bate City and to Chapel Hill if they're not going to extend the warning. So Oak Grove, Sneed Mills, these are the spots that are still under a possible tornado. It's radar indicated. This is the confirmed one, okay, up here by Oric and Sibley. This thing is just, what's interesting is if I go back, if I kind of loop this, we've got this little donut hole looking feature right there. This is an old scan. I'm going back in time, and it's just not moving very quickly in this area south of Missouri City. That's where I saw the best chance for rotation, or the best chance for a tornado. That's where the strongest rotation was. So between Sibley and Missouri City, south of Excelsior Springs, you're not under the tornado warning. Oric, Sibley, Missouri City, all the spots that need to be in their shelter. And also Buckner. Okay, be moving toward Floyd and Fleming as well. I'm waiting for a new scan to come in, but in the meantime, I'm gonna time out two different, there it is, new scan just came in. Man, I'm just not sure, because it could be in multiple spots. It could be back in that little spot. So anywhere from here, and that's what I'll do first. Normally we can be much more specific, but with this one I don't want to. Oh, they did extend that tornado warning, okay? So we'll time this one out, moving east at 40. Lillard School 920, it's 913 right now. Oric 920. Floyd 924, Richmond 924, Fitch School at 927. So there's Fleming, there's Sibley. Sibley, you would be at about 925 would be the arrival time for you if it's somewhere back in there. And now I'm going to do the other part out here in front, which would be this side. Okay, that would be Ish School, 915, that's right now. Napoleon at 917, Fairview School at 919, and Waterloo at 920. If I named out your town, or if you're familiar with any of those towns, if you're near any of those towns, then you need to be in your shelter. If you're west of Missouri City, you look to be okay from what we can see. Now, new tornado warning. This one just got extended. This is because of some rotation. This one is not necessarily, this one's not confirmed. So we're just seeing some spin on the radar, but just is enough for a tornado warning. It could spin one rather quickly, and there may be one there right now. We're not sure. Let's see what the latest is with this warning. This is, okay, for portions of Jackson, we're in Missouri now, Jackson, Lafayette counties, this goes till 9:45. Around Oak Grove, Corey will come to you. It looks like it's around Oak Grove. We'll come to Corey here. I'll let you track that too, because I think that's where it would be. And we'll get over to you in just a moment, and you can do some analysis on that and show us where you think it is. 9:45, Jackson and portions of Lafayette County until then, and moving east at 35. All right, let's get you timed out. Be in your shelter, be in your safe spot. Basement if you got it. If you don't, then the next best thing is going to be in your bathroom, an interior closet, hall closet, something with a lot of walls between you and the outside. Harry S. Truman Regional, 916. That's like right now. Bate City at 917. Lake Lafayette, that would be at 926. And Odessa about 930. And that would be when you could expect that there. So we're watching this zone. Let me get you a little bit. Corey, if you want it, you can go like street level and show where we're seeing that rotation right now, and maybe put a more specific track on that, because I think that's why the Weather Service would have the warning. Is it's right there. It's that little notch, but you can see it better on radar winds. So let's go over to Corey.
Yeah, thank you, Luke. So right now we're in Oak Grove. We're along areas of I-70. This is probably what they're watching right here, and I think we just got a new, looks like maybe they got rid of the observed tornado warning there. But yeah, we're watching this area of spin right here just north of I-70 in Oak Grove. I'll go street level here and just look at some of the streets that we have. So that would be Outer Belt Road, East Truman Road as well, North Broadway Street near there, and kind of downstream of where that tornado warning or that rotation from that tornado warning could be. Highway D, Highway FF, and it's going, I believe, 30 miles per hour. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong here, Luke. I'm going to just do a quick tracker here of where I think that rotation is right near Oak Grove is. And I'm going to put a tracker on it going 30 miles per hour. Right, we got to adjust that here real quick. And I'm not going to put it out too far because things are going to change pretty quickly here. But Harry S. Truman Regional, you're in the path of possibly this area of rotation, a possible tornado. Bate City, you're very close to it, 922, where that rotation could be. Foster College School, Hughes School, as well as Odessa. So we're watching all of that right now with this area of rotation and this tornado warning.
Okay, a couple updates for us. Thanks, Corey. Outstanding. And we have lots of reports of tons of trees are down. The National Weather Service, they said we're drowning in reports. So they're having so many come in because this was a strong line and it came right through a highly populated area. They're getting lots and lots of reports coming in of either down trees or we've got down power poles in Kansas City, in Kansas City, Missouri. According to some of the reports coming in, we have had large trees that have been knocked down. We've got lots of power outages, multiple large trees down in Liberty. I mean, there's just a lot. So it's going to take a while for us to sift through this. I just want you to know that we see what this has done, and we tried to alert you to it as best we could. We've been on for 2 hours, over 2 hours now, as we watch this line come in, and it's blasting past. If you're on the west side of this Lee Summit, you're okay. If you're west of this back edge, so it's like Grain Valley and west, Pleasant Hill, or up to Pleasant Hill, you'd be okay. Kansas City, this is the 435 loop, we're okay, all right? Smithville, Leavenworth, Bonner Springs, Kansas, okay. Your severe threat looks to be done for the night. Independence, sirens are going off again. I do not know why that would be happening, unless it would be because we have an all-county alert system, which means that if part of your county is under a tornado warning, sometimes the whole county will have sirens go off. And we do have a tornado warning that yeah, sure. So there's a lot of people here that are losing power. We're on KCTV 5 Plus, our live stream. So you can go to kctv5.com, and it's also on our app. You can go to the KCTV 5 app, kctv5.com. We've got a plus, KCTV 5 Plus. It's where you can watch us. Our live stream will be there, and it's a great place. If you lose power, come there, and we will be with you the whole way through. And even if the storm threat has passed, when you could get power, what we gather as far as damage has occurred, information that will be useful to you. So we do have an update with the tornado confirmed warning is now a radar indicated. So no longer is this a confirmed tornado warning. It's a small adjustment. What it essentially means is that we can't confirm any longer that this is producing a tornado, but it might be, and if it's not, it could do so imminently. All right, so this is what's new here. And it goes until 9:30. So we got about another 10, 11 minutes on this one. Still seeing rotation. This would be near Buckner, right around Buckner. And our tornado warning zone, like if you're west of Buckner, you'd be okay. You're in the non-rotating part of the storm. But if you're in Buckner, let's look a little closer. This is, so Oric, Fleming, Sibley, there's Napoleon, Levacy, I'm sorry if I'm saying that incorrectly. This spot right here, everybody here needs to be in their shelter. So there's Sibley, there's Buckner. We just got a new radar scan. This right here is 24 Highway, and this right here looks to be 210. So between 210, actually I'd say up past even 210, all the way up here. What is this one? That one's kind of hard to read. That's 10. So there's 10, and then 210. And then right here is 24. between 10 and 24 highway from Sibley and east is where we need to be in shelter right now from this tornado warning. Miltondale and Missouri City, I think you're all right. The rotating part of the storm would be to your east. And then we've got our other one that's down here. This is a second tornado warning that we have. This is going to be moving toward Odessa. Looks like we might have a continuance of our, you see our flashing down here, of the severe thunderstorm warning that is the parent complex of all of this. So this is going to run from Napoleon, let's go down this line, Bate City and Chapel Hill. So this tornado warning is going to go until 9:45. This one's got a little bit more legs on it. It's going to last a little bit longer. And along this line, we're seeing quick spins, quick areas of rotation. And it is moving east at 35 miles an hour. So let's time this one out for you down here. And then, Corey, I'll come over to you and see what's new on your side. And while you're doing that, I'll check in on some reports and chats on my side.
I think I might be seeing 45 miles per hour.
On this one?
On the new one that they just updated?
On the tornado warning?
Oh, no, I apologize then. I apologize.
It's okay. All right, so Fairview School, 923. It is 9:20 run right now, so it's at Fairview School. There's Lake Lafayette, 927. So Lake Lafayette's right here. And anywhere that's along, so around Odessa. So Odessa, it's got 930, but 925 to 930 for Odessa. Possible tornado there, so be in your shelter. And then east along I-70, we get to, it says Cabbage Neck School, but just anywhere east of Odessa, you'd be looking at somewhere around 9:30 to 9:40 is kind of the time for that. There's Mayview. If you're in Mayview, you're officially not in the warning, but it's moving in your direction, and we're tracking that rotation as it moves in. And then the parent complex is now blasting past. So Lone Jack, you guys are into some rough rain. Pleasant Hill as well. It's going to be heavy rain. It's going to be strong winds, but the severe portion of the storm is going to be like right along, most likely, the leading edge, right through here. That little spot right there could be some rather intense 70-mile-per-hour straight-line winds. This is all the possibility of that's near hurricane force straight-line winds. East Lynn, Harrisonville, and toward Holden would be next with that. Okay, there's the update there. Corey, I'll kick it over to you. What's new on your side?
Yeah.
And whoa. Do we have a new tornado? Oh, no. Okay, excuse me. The shape of it was odd as they trimmed part of it back. So I'm sorry, Corey, over to you.
Yeah, hey, let's take a look at some of the reports. And before I go to that, I just want to see nearly 67,000, unfortunately, customers out without power. And wind is the big issue here. That's the widespread threat. 20 now reports, 10 of wind damage, 10 of wind gusts. You can generally see the Northland has most of the damage and the strong wind gusts here. We've seen near 80 miles per hour there. I think it was 79, I believe, Luke, at the airport. I think that's the strongest one we've seen directly in the metro. So we've seen a lot of severe storm reports and damage, as well as, unfortunately, power outages too. But we still have that tornadic threat that you're tracking there, Luke, on the line of storms. It looks like, though, the KC Metro, we are doing better right now. I mean, the worst is definitely past us.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. So let's, in fact, let me do that. Let me do a little reset here. And if you're just tuning in, look, we are getting a lot of reports. Corey, you called it earlier with seeing the winds up by north of where the most destructive warning was, is the Northland. And we're getting uprooted tree reports. I mean, not just like broken branches, but uprooted trees are being reported in parts of the Northland, like
power lines.
Yeah, power lines being blown down. I mean, Clay County has been hit pretty hard, apparently. I think a lot of us have been hit hard. Again, if you've lost power, you'd be already on our KCTV5 stream. If you do lose power, you can catch us KCTV5 Plus, all right? Go to our website, go to our app, you will see us there, all right? We're also on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok, and we're going to be wherever you are. New cluster of storms that's coming in down here, so I want to talk briefly about this, and also I said I'd reset. All right, here's Kansas City. Kansas City, our severe threat appears to be done for the night. It would be a big surprise if we had any more storms that would be potent enough to be severe in Kansas City for the rest of the night. This is all generally moving northwest to southeast. Our severe threat continues east of Kansas City, where we have A pair of tornado warnings, a severe thunderstorm warning with 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts possible. That's moving toward Warrensburg and east along I-70. And then another round of severe thunderstorms that are down here in Franklin and Anderson counties. This one right here could also have 70-mile-per-hour winds. That's moving in out of Garnett. This is a 60-mile-per-hour severe thunderstorm threat that we've got for portions of Lynn County in Kansas, also very southern sections of Miami County in Kansas. And that could also have some hail with it, some small hail. That's the big view, okay? So a lot of us have had the worst of it for the night. Some of us are still getting into intense weather like these tornado warnings. So back there we go. Whenever we have tornado warnings, we are going to stay with those through the event, all right? Lake Lafayette, Odessa, east of Bate City. East of Bate City with this one. This one is the one that goes until 9:45. This is portions of Jackson and Lafayette counties. Here, let me move this for you. Jackson and Lafayette counties till 9:45. We have a tornado warning in effect. We've got areas of rotation along this line. And the thing is, they come up and throttle down in a hurry. So they're what we call brief spin-up tornadoes. And it's best if you are in your safe area, get to your shelter, than it is to wait until we can actually, sometimes we can pinpoint it's exactly right there, but these things are kind of bobbing up and down along this line. So if you're at the leading part of this line and ahead of it in this tornado warning, you need to be in your shelter. So that's Wellington. Bate City, you look to be away from it. It would be, you're going to get into some gusty winds. I would still be extra cautious and stay in my shelter in Bate City for another 10 minutes. All right, Odessa, need to be in your shelter. Lake Lafayette, you see that little hook, that little notch right there? Those are the kind of things that we look for. All right, let's go up and down this line a little bit and name out some more towns. This is going to be right along, what do we have here? It's kind of tough to read. 131. This is 131 highway, north and south, kind of right along, just west of and right along 131 highway, portions of Jackson and Lafayette counties in Missouri. And let's track this one as we've got it for 35 miles per hour, moving eastward as it marches east of Kansas City along I-70. All right, updated times here. Odessa, 9:28. It's there essentially right now. I actually think I might be just a little bit fast, and that's okay. But it's coming up on Odessa really quickly. We've got Walnut Row School at 9:30. And Cabbage Neck School, Prairie Valley, it's naming out a lot of schools, but if you get east of Odessa, you can see these lines here. If you're familiar with any of these areas that we just named out, then that's your timing. So really, it's going to be over the next 10 minutes. It's going to be east of Odessa and working toward, there's the end of the warning right there. And it'd be not quite to, it's west of Allville. If you're familiar with Allville, still west of there. Now let's go up to our next one. And what's interesting here with this tornado warning, so let me highlight it for you so you can see it. This is for Clay, Jackson, and Ray counties until 9:30. What's interesting here is this has not been extended yet, so we'll see what the National Weather Service does, but it looks like the storm has kind of moved along from where the warning was, and they did not yet extend it. I'm thinking that the rotation there has come down quite a lot.
Boom,
because
there you go. Canceled the one in Jackson.
Oh, they canceled the one in Jackson.
Oh, parts of it.
Okay.
Looks like it continues, though, in Lafayette County, though.
Okay.
Out to the east.
Let's
Just got trimmed.
trimmed it back. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. So we've got 2 more minutes on this one that's up here farther to the north. If you're in Buckner, you would be all right. Oryx should be all right. Corey, do you have the winds up over there?
Oh, you want storm relative or?
Storm relative
Okay.
up here on this top tornado warning, the one that's farther north. See if we spot anything in there, because it looks to me like the parent storm has kind of moved along and they just haven't extended the warning, but they haven't canceled it either. I'm curious to see what you spot with that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not seeing much. I mean, anytime you're looking out towards the leading edge of the storm and it's messy up there, I'm just looking at just some pretty impressive winds within the storm. Pretty strong around Napoleon, but north of there, I don't see really too much. Just generally, I don't see too much there. And I'm just going to look at the radar, too, just to see, right, overlaid with it. I'm going to stop it. I'm not seeing a whole lot with it. And it looks, right, you look at the leading edge of these storms, and it looks like it's outraced that polygon that's right there. So, yeah, I do expect that to go away pretty soon.
There it goes. Called it.
There we go. All right.
See that they just dropped it. They did not extend that warning, and That's what was going on. Okay, so we are down to one tornado warning and one considerable severe thunderstorm warning. And we do have some more. Well, we've got two considerables. One of them's coming in out of this complex from south central Kansas, and that's moving toward Garnett. So we could have some stout winds in that one, that white box right there. This is a separate severe thunderstorm warning of a lower tier of 60-mile-per-hour winds. And there's Kansas City. If you're just joining us, maybe you lost power for a little while and you joined us at KCTV5 Plus and you joined us on our app, then what's going on is a lot of us are clear. Kansas City, we're clear. Belton, we're clear. Kansas side and the KC Metro is clear. Leavenworth, all those spots. So if you're in this zone that I'm drawing right here, for now, everything looks good, and you're probably done for the night. Now, if you're south, if you're Ottawa, Paola, Lacine, Garnett, we still have this cluster that's moving this way. It's going to be moving east, so we still have that continuing. Tornado warning continues through portions of Lafayette County, or is that now it's just in Jackson County? Excuse me.
Lafayette.
Lafayette, yes. There we go. Lafayette County. Okay, 9:45. We're talking about Missouri. So we've got this tornado warning here. This is our most urgent threat. This is going to go again till 9:45, moving east at 35 miles per hour, and we have had areas of spin along this. So Wellington down to Odessa and Lake Lafayette. This is the concern, and areas that are out to the edge of this red box. So right near Mayview, running east along I-70. And I think where it would be, there might be two spots of rotation in here. Number one would be this one by Lake Lafayette and south of Odessa. I'm kind of zooming in here street level. So this is 134 and this is Highway 00. So in that general area near and just south of Odessa, there's our new scan. It's moved past it. So this would now be just southeast of Odessa. And this is I-70 and Highway M, or M Highway right through here. Southeast of Odessa is the most likely zone where we could have some, it's where we see rotation. It's most likely area where we could have a possible tornado. So that tornado warning continues there. And then there's another spot up here. Whenever you see this like little weakness this is rain that we're looking at here. You see a little weakness in that. That can be inflow into the storm. And this would be like near and southeast of, would be southeast of Wellington. This is 131 south of Wellington, but east of 131. So between like 131 and west of Mayview would be another zone that stands out to me, south of 24 Highway. So between, we'll say 131 and this is Highway O, right through here. That's another spot that we would want to watch. So there's two areas within one tornado warning in portions of Lafayette County that have enough to them. They've reached the threshold. We have something new. There's a new one. Okay, new tornado warning.
Okay.
This is for that one that we were talking about to the south. So this one that I was watching over here that was by Odessa. It's this one right here. There's Odessa. Odessa's right there, 131, I-70. This zone that is, I believe that was Highway M that we were talking, that we had mentioned earlier. Right here, yeah, that's Highway M. So between 131 and Highway M, that spot just southeast, just east of Odessa, there's a possible tornado there. Let's see what the latest is with this.
Yeah, radar indicated.
Till 10. Anything let's go to Corey. He's actually got the better, he can pinpoint a little bit better with his winds. Okay, show us exactly what you see there, Corey.
Yeah, hey Luke, so just south of I-70 near Odessa, near Lake Lafayette, we're watching this area, right? This is, we'll zoom out and just talk about what we're doing here, because you've just probably seen some colors. This is away from the radar, this is a little towards the radar, so you're just kind of looking for this spin. This is how we diagnose if we're seeing any rotation and therefore a possible tornado. So right just south of I-70, Lake Lafayette, 35 miles per hour. So I'm going to track this out, 35, 30 before, so I'm going to go 35 and track out where that rotation could be. Not super impressive, but these will spin up and spin down and I should say spin up, I guess, and come down here and leave pretty quickly. So they're quick. 935, right in your doorstep. Farmers School, Mount Tabor Church, Robbins, Lafayette, Handy School, and the rotation's just south of I-70 near Odessa, also near Higginsville as well here, Luke. So that is the area of rotation that they're watching. That's what triggered the tornado warning.
Excellent, Corey. Thank you. If we could, we've got some views from some of our cameras. I know that the one that we've got that is looking toward the Kauffman Center of Performing Arts. I think it's our camera from the World War I Museum and Memorial, if we could show that, or something like it. I just want to highlight, if you look at our cameras and you look at Kansas City on our radar, I just want to emphasize Kansas City, we take a big sigh of relief. Things have blown past us. We're probably done for the night. It's not impossible, but it would be surprising if we had anything that could muscle back up and move over the top of us. There you go. You just see the edge. Look at that. The sun's popping back out. Everything's getting so much better. Now, in areas, we still have that storm blasting through, and it's as strong as it was earlier today. So we just had this new warning get extended. This right here is all brand new. For this whole cluster that plowed through Kansas City, still marches toward Warrensburg. We've got a new tornado warning over here by Odessa, just southeast of Odessa. Possible area, it's spinning, possible tornado there. And then all the way up here just east of Richmond, that's still that same thunderstorm complex. But we're on the back side of that, and I just want to bring the temperature down for you a little bit. If you're watching and you're concerned about you and your family and you're on the and you're out of danger. I just want you to know when you're out of danger and you are in the Kansas City general vicinity, the general metro. Some more storms moving in down here. I want you guys to know we're watching this zone in Ottawa and Garnett. We do have some severe weather down here. None of this right now is rotating. This is a complex of messy thunderstorms. We'll keep an eye on it, but generally a wind threat. Generally wind and rain and some small hail possible there. The biggest threat is, of course, our tornado warning. Corey and I are watching this very closely. Corey, he is in on analyzing. He's got your back with watching for the spin and where the tornadoes may most likely be, where the highest winds could be, what's the biggest threat. He's also going through reports so we can relay those back to you. I'm going to track all this out for you, and we're going to be here until this thing is done. So you've got what you need to know to stay safe for you and your family, okay? So it is now would be south of Mayview. We have two tornado warnings here. I don't want to forget about this spot right up here. So south of Lexington, that is still part of the old tornado warning. I don't see any rotation on my end. I think what is happening is that this one is the dominant area of rotation, and up here, this one is starting to lose it if it hasn't already lost it, but the National Weather Service has not canceled this one yet. So up here west of Mayview and south of Lexington, we'll keep an eye on this. This is more out of an abundance of caution, but there may still be a little something in here in this zone. Let me try to get you zoomed in. We're getting more rural. So this is Highway M and 131, Highway O. This right here is Highway O. This is 131 Highway. In between these two spots south of Wellington, I'd actually say more toward Highway O and west of Mayview. This is an area that will just out of an abundance of caution, if you're in Mayview, go ahead and get to your shelter. And then the more concerning spot, what stands out to us is this newer tornado warning that we see that has been southeast of Odessa primarily, though it just took a big surge. This thing moved quickly. And I'm curious, Corey, if the winds look different, because as fast as it moved, I'm wondering if it didn't go outflow dominant and it might start just turning into a wind event. So we'll see. Anyway, southeast at 35 is what it has been moving. So you need to be in your shelter in Farmers School at 940, Fayetteville 942. So there's Farmers School. Let's see, where can we find, it's not showing up on us. Mount Olive at 948. Here's Victory School. So if you're anywhere near, this is the black line. This is the 952 line right through there, 950 line. This is 955. And then this one right here would be 10 p.m. at the very end of that warning, whenever that warning is allowed to expire. So south of Mayview, if this is still for, see, we had sections of Lafayette County And we've also got now, so it's not just Lafayette, it's also Johnson County in Missouri. Johnson County, Missouri, so we'd be looking at northern Johnson County, southeastern and south central sections of Lafayette County until 10 p.m. We've got a tornado warning in effect there. Also, this is the new severe thunderstorm warning where we have 70 mile per hour, so like Warrensburg, 70 mile per hour wind gusts possible there, all the way up to, let's see, Blackburn and Higginsville, and then Chilhowie and Leeton. And it's in Holden right now, and then moving toward Chilhowie and Leeton. And this warning, this one's going to go until 10:30, and this has been moving southeast at about 35 miles per hour. So that's what we see with that cluster. And one more time, just kind of back to Kansas City. Here we are. If you're in Grain Valley, Excelsior Springs, I mean, Bonner Springs, Overland Park, Lee's Summit, we're doing better. All right, we're doing good. We're probably done for the night. Corey, anything coming through on chat? I'm going to look over the Facebook reports and see if there's anything that jumps out. I don't want to spend too long because I want to get back. I want to stay with this warning, but see if anything on the winds or the chats coming through on your side.
Yeah, nothing too much of note. I will say kind of what we're tracking for the severe thunderstorm, or I should say the tornado warning. I'm going to go over to that here real quick and just check out some of the reports we've got on that. I mean, not a tornado report, but a straight line report there along areas of I-70 and Oak Grove. 60 mile per hour gusts. So we're still seeing some impressive straight line and damaging winds, regardless if there's a tornado or not. We're also seeing some spots now outside of the metro that are getting some damage. Let's just see what this wind gust, 60 miles per hour. Okay. And Luke, maybe I could show a future radar too. Just see, because I think we're getting a lot of questions as well of, you know, how quickly or if they're in the clear or not.
Sure, if it's especially if it's looking better than it did earlier, because it actually had storms missing Kansas City entirely. So
yeah.
Hopefully it caught up and it's looking better.
Yeah, I can just go real quick. I'm going to send it to you. This is 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. So right, we're still going to see our communities to the south impacted with storms. Harrisonville, Racine, Butler, down areas of I-49 through about 11 o'clock midnight. You still need to be ready for those storms and not let your guard down. But I think right midnight, 1 a.m., right through those overnight hours, we should be all clear. Kansas City, we look fine. Be surprised if there's anything too impactful after this. Cold front's coming through, so that's sucking all the energy out as well as just the storm coming through. So I think we're good here in KC. I still think through 11 o'clock midnight, our communities off to the south, south, and east still need to be on guard with that severe and possible tornadic threat.
Something else, Corey, is the heavy rain and flooded. We do have a flood watch that's in effect. Flash flooding, something we saw earlier, that's that warning whenever the storms were first going up there by Maryville. So some spots, I think, down south of KC, Harrisonville, Butler, Clinton, maybe some of these areas where the storms are coming in, we could get hit twice. And we had some rain last night that was fairly hefty. So something else that we're going to be watching as we go deeper into the night. All right, so back we go, resetting and into the tornado warning. Line is surging quickly now. The warning had these things moving earlier at 35 miles per hour. There's no way. This is going faster than that now. 10 p.m., Johnson, Missouri, Lafayette County, Missouri, until 10 p.m. for this tornado warning. Looks like it just got updated, which means that they're going to continue it. And they're tracking it at 35. So I'll stick with that until we get a better estimate, but it does seem that they are moving faster. Okay, going east. And Liberty School, 944. Mount Olive at 947. There's Earnestville at 952. Corey, it looks like around Robbins. Is that what you're saying, around Fayetteville?
Yeah, I'd say around, if the rotation would be around Robbins. Yeah.
Okay, we'll get there in just a sec. But here's some of the timing for you. Valley City at 9:55 and Concordia at 9:58. Concordia is on the northern side of that warning, the northwestern side. So that we're looking at like southeastern and south central chunks of Lafayette County, Missouri, and then north central, northeastern parts of Johnson County in Missouri.
Yeah.
So it's actually maybe more dominant up here on the north side, huh? Did you? That was.
Yeah, I'm just seeing the one.
Which one did
here,
you have?
Robbins, Mayville, just south of I-70, and it looks like they're going to continue that tornado warning, but they're going to expire that one back near Odessa.
Okay. Yeah, they're going to trim it back.
Yeah, they're trimming it back.
Okay. So it would be in this area right here is what we'd seen. Fayetteville. So you're right around Robbins.
Right on Robbins, basically.
Yeah, I could. What we're seeing, I wonder if if the scan hasn't quite come in.
Yeah.
Because I would think it'd be a little bit closer to well, between Robbins and Fayetteville and Mount Olive, this is the zone right now where we're seeing the spin on the radar. So just know that Earnestville, Earnestville. There we go. There's Corey. So we've got Max 1 up right now. If we could, let's just go ahead and move that warning out.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
It's okay. You didn't
sure I
know,
was
but
on
they popped up your computer
Okay,
on my
yeah,
screen.
and
There we go. See, it just
scan.
updated.
Yep.
We just updated it here. And this is I-70. Let's zoom in just a little bit for me, my man. Thank you, sir. There's Mount Olive. There's Fayetteville. I'm thinking between, so we're seeing it right here, Fayetteville to Robbins. This is 13 Highway, and here's Mount Olive. So Mount Olive, Robbins, Fayetteville, all spots that need to be in your shelter. All right, this is where we're seeing it. If there's a tornado, it's in this general area, and it's moving east. If you're west of Robbins, then the spin is out ahead of you and you're okay. If you're out ahead of this, then you need to be getting in your shelter. So that's like, there you go. South of Allville, there's Concordia. It should be tracking east or even a little bit southeast. So Allville, you're not all clear, but you're not under an immediate threat. We're thinking it's more toward Fayetteville, Mount Olive. Here's Valley City, Concordia on alert. All right, so you don't necessarily have to run right now into your shelter. You're under a tornado warning. It'd be a good idea, especially out of an abundance of caution. But I'm thinking the way that this has been tracking, it's going to be right here, kind of right along the county line, and south of I-70 is the way that it's been going. So that's what we see with the tornado warning.
73,000 power outages, too.
So we're up to 73,000 power outages. Again, some of you are joining us on KCTV5 Plus. That's the best place. It's going to be the most reliable stream is going to be on KCTV5 Plus. That's kctv5.com, KCTV weather app. We're also on YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok. So complex of storms is past Kansas City. Kansas City is looking much better. I think we are okay. We are A-okay for tomorrow. It's going to be so much better. Tomorrow's going to be a nice day. And more severe thunderstorms, but not tornadic, that are down here by Garnett and Mound City. We're watching these, but they're not tornadic. We've got the one tornado warning and this severe thunderstorm warning that's going through Warrensburg now with potential 70-mile-per-hour winds. While I leave this up, I'm going to loop this for you here for just a second. You kind of see how these things have evolved. And I'm checking in on my side. We've got chat open and see if there's anything that I can share. As far as, like, we've gotten so many reports. There's been so many that we can't hardly keep up with them. Lots of uprooted trees. The Northland got hit hard. Okay, here's from the Weather Service. Looks like the tornado, what we've been watching with the tornado warning, it's still a tornado warning. But they have noticed that the rotation is becoming a little bit more ragged. So it's not all clear. But the one that we've been tracking, it's over here for portions of Lafayette and Johnson counties in Missouri. It's looking a little bit more ragged. That's a good sign. We want it to continue to do that. Platte County's been hit hard. Lots of reports of trees that have blocked roads. Power lines are down. We've had lots and lots and lots of power outages. Lots of tree damage. There's so many, guys. I can't even begin to read all the reports that we've had coming in. So I'm just trying to scan and see if there's any biggies that are coming through. Corey's actually got them up on a map, and we do have our tornado watch too. So we're in that until 11, and see if there's anything else. Sweet Springs and Marsh. I'm just trying to see if there's. A lot of questions coming in. Are we okay? Are we clear? If you've been hit by storms in the Kansas City general area, then yeah, you're clear. Once you get hit by them, then they take the juice out of the atmosphere. They've gobbled up the thunderstorm fuel, and you're likely okay. For the rest of tonight. That's the way that it looks for us. Corey, you've got the watch up. We ought to be touching on that because I think we're going to see a trim of that, but we still have officially the tornado watch in Kansas City. We expect that will be dropped at some point here in the not too distant future, but some of us are still under the risk, and we have the flood concern too. If you want, we can go over to Corey and he can show us the watches of what we have because we still got to be keeping that in mind. Okay, Corey, hey, you lost your mic. It's okay. That's all right. Here. So do have it. Okay. All right, so tornado warning. Let's get back to this. This is going through southeastern sections of Lafayette County, and this right here, this is Lafayette County. This is Johnson County. So we're on the Missouri side. Kansas side right now is free of it. This is the only tornado warning that we've got. We're looking at west of Concordia, and this zone right here, right along the county line, where we could have a tornado. It's possible that we've got one there. It's not as robust as it was looking previously, but it is still there. We still need to be treating this respect and get to your shelter. If you're in any place from Mount Olive to, there's Ernestville, there's Concordia, there's Allville. I think it's going to stay south of Allville, but you're not all clear there, so you should be in your shelter as well. And then moving east. This is like right along 13 Highway. Fayetteville, you would be, so Fayetteville's like right here. Fayetteville, you're out of the woods right now from the spin. Robbins, you're okay too. Tornado warning goes all the way back to the west, but still, it's going to be this zone that is going from southwest of Allville to 13 Highway to Mount Olive and moving east at about 35 miles per hour. So Valley City and Concordia, some towns that we see that are still under that risk. So let's get you updated timings. We were on this not too long ago, but we want to keep you up to speed and see what, if anything changes. So Allville 952, that's if it makes it. Again, you're not all clear in Allville, which is up here on the north side of the warning, but just be in your shelter out of abundance of caution. Davies School, Valley City, 959. There's Ernestville. We were talking about that one. That's going to be right at about 10 p.m., so that's going to be about 10 minutes away. There's Valley City. There's Concordia at 10:04. So Concordia is actually, I think, just past the actual warning zone. And on radar, I'm going to switch over to the winds on my side and see if there's anything new that pops out. So where we see the spin, right along the county line, and then back behind it, there's Odessa. That could be strong straight line winds that are still filling in on the backside where we've got all the heavy rain, and then you get hit with some 60 mile per hour plus winds. This is not that strong. That is not strong rotation, but it's strong enough that on today we've seen something similar, and it did start to spin something up. So right along the county line is where this would be. That is, I believe, 13 Highway, and there's Fayetteville. Yep, that's 13 Highway, Mount Olive, Fayetteville, and then up to Allville. This kind of, it's usually we could say it right there, but today's not a day where we can do that. Near and south of I-70 and tracking east. Okay, so that's that tornado warning. And I'll just show you the warnings here by themselves. Maybe this will help kind of clear what's going on where you are. To the west, clear. All right, there's a 70 mile per hour wind threat within this yellow box that we have. That's our tornado threat that we've got in this red box. That's our tornado warning until 10. We've got another 8 minutes left on that. This area down here going from Miami to Lynn counties in Kansas, and also sections of Johnson and Anderson, or excuse me, Franklin and Anderson counties here in Kansas. Really more just Anderson County now. Base severe thunderstorms, 60 mile per hour wind gusts possible with that complex. What I'm concerned with down here is going to be heavy, heavy rain tonight. After what we had last night and multiple rounds tonight, we do have the flood watch that's in effect. Heavy storms moving through. You could get hit twice in some spots. 2 to 4 inches with pockets of 6 inches are possible in this zone. I don't think it's going to happen for KC. We're in the watch, but really it looks like everything's blowing south and east. And then this is our tornado watch. And hey, this is new. This just came out moments ago when Corey was up. We were under the tornado watch in Kansas City, but we've been talking about how your threat's done. Your tornado watch has been dropped. Okay, so we are clear in the 435 loop in the KC Metro. We are clear. It won't be long before we see more areas, especially east. Once that big Boeing segment punches by, then you're going to be out of the woods as well from the tornado threat for the night. Where it will continue is to our south, where this air is still juiced up, and it has not been brought down. As you know, whenever thunderstorms come by, they can gobble up some of that fuel, some of that thunderstorm fuel that builds up in the heat of the day like we had today. And you haven't done that yet down here. So this is probably going to run through at least 11. And it could even get extended in some spots. So there's the update with that. Come back to my chat. I want to check in with the Weather Service and see what's coming in on their side. Still getting you some reports coming in of rotation with that storm. You know, storms are chaotic, and sometimes they show spinning clouds in even if there's not a tornado threat, we see that sometimes. So anyway, somebody in Higginsville had reported some rotation, so I'm just passing that along, but it seemed like it was a just kind of passing by report. There's KC. KC again clear. Let's get back to our tornado warning. This is now, it's going to be Warrensburg, just so you know, it is north of Warrensburg. Looks like we've been dropped in Lafayette County with the tornado warning. It's a small little thing now. And it looks like, okay, so we just got a new severe thunderstorm warning that got extended. And this one is not considerable. This is a base severe thunderstorm. So 60-mile-per-hour winds. Sweet Springs, so it's moving into Sweet Springs. It's coming down, though. This is starting to throttle down and lose some of its punch and drop from a 70 to 80-mile-per-hour wind blaster like it was earlier, now down to a 60-mile-per-hour severe thunderstorm warning. And that's going to be moving toward Malta Bend and Marshall. There's Sweet Springs, there's Lamont, there's Sedalia. So that conditions are improving. Now, we still have to watch for these things, these spin-up tornadoes. So just know that threat will continue, but the background wind that is coming with that line is starting to back up. So Warrensburg, this is north of you with this. So if you're watching from Warrensburg, just know, again, you may lose power, and you would want to know what's going on with this thing. Check us out on our stream, KCTV5+. Montserrat, it's north of you as well. Knob Noster, looks like it's north of you. I'm thinking it's up in this is where a rotation has been spotted, up in this weakness in the rain, which is south of Concordia, just right along the county line between Lafayette and it's been Johnson County in Missouri. So now we are looking at just Johnson County in Missouri till 10, so another 4 minutes with this warning. And it has been coming down a little bit, but it's still enough that they haven't canceled it yet. So we're going to stay with this for another at least 4 minutes. And east at 35. East at 35. Here comes a new scan. And it's still this spot right here. You see how that one didn't move as much as the rain around it? There's still something happening in that area. All right, so where would that be? That would be around or east of Fayetteville. This would be 13. There's 13 highway. There's Fayetteville. We're east of Robbins. Robbins, you would be okay. And there is, what has that been, highway, this is Northeast County Road CC right here. So between 13 highway, Northeast County Road CC, we're looking at Johnson County, Missouri, northern Johnson County, Missouri, and State Highway E. That's kind of our box. We're south of I-70. So 70 is up here in Lafayette County. We're south of that. So Valley City would be the next spot. You know, it's kind of a rural area, but we've got Mount Olive, we've got Valley City, south of Ernestville, and east of Fayetteville is where we could have a possible tornado. So let's track that one out. Make sure I got it right. Yeah. Let's do that again. That one didn't like it. All right, going east at 35. And the only spot that it's picking up on, Valley City, and that'd be about 10:05, So you got something like 5 minutes in Valley City. We also have the 10 o'clock news that will be starting here. We're going to be staying on. Yes. Okay, very good. There's a tornado warning. We're going to stay on anyway, so we've got a tornado warning, and that goes until 10 p.m. And we also have the WNBA game is going to be starting at 10:11. So we'll see if we still have this. Okay, got it. All right, so nonetheless, we have a complex of storms that is now well east of Kansas City. We've been tracking this for you for now 3 hours. We've been on this since 7 o'clock this evening is whenever we came on. We saw this moving in out of the northwest, just tore through KC. We're going to have reports coming to you about what all has happened. There have been a lot of power outages, a lot of trees that have been damaged, and we've had power poles that have been knocked down from this, and also a confirmed tornado. Our radar had actually seen debris lofted into the air earlier today whenever this was going through portions of the Kansas City metro. Somewhere around Liberty is where we had seen the confirmed tornado. So we're going to be bringing you updates with that. All that's going to be covered. We're still gathering all that information. But now that complex has moved east, and we have this lone tornado warning This is the most urgent situation, but it only goes for another minute, and they have not yet extended this warning. So we'll see what the Weather Service does with this. Some rotation still being seen within the cell. What's that?
Yeah, they're going to expire it.
They are going to expire it. So this warning, there it is. It just got dropped. So good news there. What the point with that, though, is these things have come up on us quickly twice, 3 times today, where we see these storms come by, and whenever they have these little inflow notches where it kind of kinks like that, then sometimes they start to spin something up rather quickly. So we dropped that one, but we still need to be aware. My point is, if you're about to go to bed because it's 10 o'clock at night, have a way that you would get alerted if there were a tornado warning, and have a plan too. So whenever your phone goes off, and it will go off, you know, the emergency alerts will trigger, your phone will go off. Do not rely on sirens. They're not designed to penetrate into your house while you're sleeping especially. It's an outside last resort kind of thing. But have a way to get alerts. First Warn 5 weather app, it'll go off. Make sure that you've got that and that the alerts are turned on your phone, your settings. And then where would you go? Because if you're out ahead of this line, then you may still have some more warnings pop up. And I just wouldn't want that to catch you off guard while you were going to bed or sleeping tonight if you've got to get to bed. Okay, so severe thunderstorm warning continues. This is going from Carrollton now. Improving conditions. This is good. We like this. From Carrollton down to Houstonia and Marshall. Let's see what's this go for. This one goes till 11. So we've got Carroll, Lafayette, Pettis, and Saline counties in Missouri. And this would be 60-mile-per-hour winds. We had 70-mile-per-hour winds back here through this zone. And then it's come eastward, and it's starting to wind down, starting to blow itself out. It's been a big wind bag of a complex of storms that has come through. But nonetheless, for another hour, we'll watch this trek eastward even farther. All right, so down toward Hughesville, Sedalia, you would be included in this. Lamont and Windsor. Warrensburg's getting hit with some pretty good rain right now, and probably some severe level winds possible within that, and toward Knob Noster as well. And let's get over here into Lacine and Mound City with this. This one's not moved a whole lot. You can see that's an hour-long loop, and there's been portions of Anderson County, portions of Anderson County where it has been raining really hard for an hour, an entire hour. But our atmosphere up in KC, just so you know, is totally different than it was just a few hours ago. Let me show you what our radars, our forecast radars as we go through tonight, what they have, just so you can kind of see the picture as we have the storms that have moved through. It's not, 100%, but it gives us an idea. The storms have actually moved faster than what the computer had thought here. But you can see how we go ahead, and it's this area south down here where we see possible repeated rounds in some areas like Harrisonville, Lacine, Butler, Clinton. These would be areas for flooding that would be most concerning to me overnight. And then once we get past about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, the area is clear, and tomorrow is beautiful. We have a beautiful Sunday lined up. In the meantime, we're going to be transitioning into this flood risk here within the next hour or two. Once the tornado watch is dropped across the area, then the flood watch will be the primary concern for tonight. So if you're, it's a weekend, it's a summer weekend, you might have, some people that are camping down here. Just, if you can, get in touch with them, let them know this is something that's being monitored for tonight, if they weren't aware. In the meantime, there's our tornado watch. Kansas City is out of the tornado watch. We have been dropped from that early. It was set to go till 11. That does continue for Richmond, Warrensburg, Clinton, Butler, Harrisonville, all these spots that are still in orange. Tornado watch continues there. Okay, let's get back to our radar and see if there's anything new to share with you. Getting, again, more reports. Lee Summit, I-70 and Lee Summit, this is Independence, that I'm seeing that we have some large trees that were down Lee Summit Road and I-70, just one that's coming through on my side. So you're going to get a lot of pictures coming through, and you're going to get a lot of reports on KCTV5 whenever we get to the news about what's been coming through and the damage that it's caused. Something like 70,000 power outages have been reported. So again, KCTV5 Plus, that's where we'll be if you have lost power. All right, see if there's any questions I have coming through. We're on Facebook, YouTube, and we are on TikTok. We're checking the streams here, the questions. Looking for updates for Sweet Springs, Marshall, Higginsville, and Sedalia. You bet. All right. Here's Sedalia still has the storms coming in, 60-mile-per-hour winds possible with that complex moving towards Sedalia. Higginsville has already been in it, and we're looking better there. All right, so it's there. We just had it. So Warrensburg is in the thick of it right now. Now it's moving there toward Hughesville. There's Sweet Springs. Sweet Springs, you're just beginning with the event, so 60-mile-per-hour winds are possible there. Glad that we dropped the rotating part of the storm, so not a tornado threat there at the moment. And then up toward Marshall. So all of this spot right through here is somewhat standard severe thunderstorm warning, where it used to be earlier today. This was an especially strong, rare, destructive. The top level, there's 3 tiers of severe thunderstorm warnings. This was a top level destructive with 80-mile-per-hour winds that were not just estimated but recorded. And we had 82-mile-per-hour wind gusts. You're talking hurricane force winds earlier. Now they're coming down, but they're still fierce. This is still a fierce storm that's coming through. Heavy rain's going to blast this area too. Back behind it, everything's good. So you can see everything's just turning nice and quiet through Lee Summit, through KC. Smithville, this whole metro area back here. The reason why we still get a watch to the south, this zone is where we didn't have, we had some rain last night, but this is all recovered. So we've been hit hard enough, we should be okay. We don't have enough gas left in the tank for storms up here to get rowdy. But down here, we still do. This is the zone that we've got to watch next as we go through tonight. Okay, are we ready now? All right, we're going to go to the news now. We're going to start KCTV5 News at 10. We'll begin right now.
KCTV5 News starts now with a First Warn Weather Day.
Luke, thank you very much. All across the metro, severe storms rolling through our neighborhoods, including a confirmed tornado near Liberty. Harrowing video here. This is I-35 as well. It also goes up to Gladstone. Luke was covering it here in downtown Kansas City, where you can see water starting to cover the roadways as well. Now we're also going to bring in First Warn meteorologist Corey Kowitz. Corey, a big question for everyone right now is we're in the all clear for the night, correct?
We should be all clear here in KC, and the reason why is, well, you had a lot of energy sucked out because of the storm, but what was fueling the storms is this cold front. Now we're on the cold side, we're on the stable side, we're all clear in KC, but we still have some storms to talk about. And you can also see, right, the tornado watch has been canceled for the KC Metro, but where you see these spots were orange to the south and east of KC, that'll be through 11 p.m. We still have that severe threat. We're looking now out to the east along areas of I-70. Impressive line of storms here that we're watching that's moving through Warrensburg, Houstonia, and Sedalia. Still with that pretty strong wind risk here. This is near Warrensburg, and you're 60-mile-per-hour winds according to the radar. So although it's out of the metro, we're still seeing impacts out to the east. Also to the south here, we're near Mound City, Blue Mound, Amoret, Hume. That's passing over onto the Missouri side near Butler along areas of I-49. Be ready for impacts with this storm that has a lot of strong winds packed into it as well. But look at all of the reports. 36 reports here, 23 because of thunderstorm wind damage, 13 because of severe gusts. Let's go the next few hours here through midnight. I think we'll still have some impacts in the southeastern area of our viewing area. Clinton, Butler, not out of the woods yet, but after midnight, we should be good region-wide. And tomorrow, nice and dry, just some clouds here and there. Looks like a beautiful day. And we'll go hour by hour here with this hourly forecast. Humidity drops, temperature drops. It's going to be beautiful. You start off in the 60s, only peak in the low 70s. So maybe not a great pool day, but man, a great day to be out and about. Huge contrast to what we have for today and through this evening for what we have for tomorrow.
No kidding, Corey. Thank you very much. We're also tracking significant power outages across the metro. That number is still increasing. That now at more than 70,000 people in the metro without power. We're also tracking breaking news. Multiple arrests announced in the theft of England's national team's gear. We learned earlier this evening that the gear had been recovered, and now prosecutors tell us charges are being filed against the 2 people accused of taking it. Mustafa Salik and Irfan Kamal are facing charges of receiving stolen property, which could land them in prison for up to 7 years. The property was valued at around $18,000. Now, Jackson County prosecutor Melissa Johnson says the county, quote, will not tolerate any criminal activity that targets World Cup visitors. Their bond has been set at $75,000 each.
Of course we feel safe. We've got a great team looking after us like we always do, and yeah, I'm sure everything's been taken care of to look after us.
The team's gear being stolen while on the way to KC raised all kinds of questions about safety, but according to the players, they're doing just fine, and they're looking forward to staying in Kansas City for the next few weeks.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. It was so nice to see everyone welcoming and knowing that they're going to look after us for the next, hopefully, 6 weeks.
You heard the Three Lions, they're finally in Kansas City. You're going to see them touch down here earlier this morning, making them the fourth and final team to arrive in the city for their base camp. A Prairie Village community is embracing Team England as they arrive at their team hotel, and they want to say that England feel right here at home. KCTV5's Jordan Fremstad caught up with fans with the latest.
The second bus tires rolled onto Meadowbrook Parkway. A roster of support painted this curb as Team England set foot on Prairie Village ground.
And we're excited to have them here.
Now it's time to celebrate.
Hope we can show them a good time.
Oh, we can't wait. We're super excited.
Mark Priestland lives here, but London is home.
It means everything. It's fantastic.
He holds out hope England's World Cup drought
I think they'll do it.
comes to a long-awaited conclusion.
It's been a long time since '66, so we're ready for it.
This is really a big deal.
Patty Evans enjoys the chance to learn about other cultures.
I think it's wonderful for the community to have exposure to other places in the world.
Fran Johnson understands the moment.
It's what a opportunity for Kansas City.
Her friend Jan Jeffries couldn't agree more.
It's a nice representation of Prairie Village.
Mark also respects this home soil.
U.S. last night looked amazing.